Oh my God, we're back in studio. It's Traveler'S Proc, season 2, episode 1.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So we thought we wouldn't be back here because I didn't know when we were gonna do the next episode. I don't know how busy I was gonna be with moving stuff, but it ended up working out that we were able to come back and use the studio again, at least for another time. Maybe one. I'm not gonna say never again. Maybe one more time, but who knows? Next episode.
Yeah, I mean, while we can,
yeah.
We will, but yeah.
As long as I'm here, if there's an option, we'll definitely use it. But welcome back, guys. Today, like the main things we want to talk about, SMITE 2. We wanted to talk about that last week, but we never got a chance because we talked about Worlds for so long. And then a couple other things like Bobby's tournament coming up.
Yeah, Bobby's tournament, season 11. How we've been feeling about that. Who's your whole team for Bobby's tournament? It's you and Davey, I know.
Swagga.
Okay.
And OJ Min and
OJ Min is solo, right?
OJ Min and XD001.
XD is mid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you guys scrimmed at all or played?
Not yet. We're scrimming Saturday because it's hard because of Davey's schedule.
Yeah.
So it's funny because everybody has work on my team and they're like, oh, well, can we scrim at this time at like 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern? And Davey's like, I don't think I can do that.
It's like midnight for him.
Yeah, it's like midnight. I think he has work as well, but that's why we're going to scrim the weekend because he can stay up late on Saturday, I think, and we're going to scrim late. I'll probably stream that, and then on Sunday, I'll stream it as well. I think we're going to scrim like around like 4:30 or something because people can actually scrim earlier. So it works out good.
Dude, we've scrimmed like twice. We have not won a game. It's been so tough.
That's a good sign, though.
I know. Yeah, I was saying to my team, I'm like, I lost every game before Worlds. I'll take it. Like, we're in a good path. I don't know. It's actually fun. Like, I get frustrated at myself because I'm sure you know how it is. Like, I'm just thinking about what I want to do and then also trying to like help them play comp, you know, like help them like, properly and things like that. And I just like my brain can't multitask, so I just into the game like it's in a.
You're also playing jungle too.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I mean, if you were playing support, it'd probably be a lot easier to manage.
It'd be easier to like. Yeah, it'd be easier to calm for sure. It's so fun though. Like I just have. Streaming is just fun no matter what. I think.
Nice. But I watched one game. The one game I watched, I think Cardwell was playing Chalk or something, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is so OP!" When he killed somebody, I thought I was laughing so hard. It was that Fire Giant.
There's a game we played yesterday. And they had Kuzmo Sobek, and the two tanks had double Mystical Mail, double Thorns. So they just ran at my double Hunters. They just one-shot both of them. Like, I don't know how to help you guys. Like, you are just dead. I loved it.
That's overpowered. Holy cow.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that Bobby, I think he tweeted the other day, too, that he was going to do more tournaments throughout the year. But I think it's really cool to have community tournaments like this and see everybody play it. I was saying to him as well, I think it'd be really cool if we also did, like, you coach the OTK tournament as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool if we did something similar to that where like maybe pro players coach like you can't qualify if you're like SCC, SOC, like maybe you have to be like literally like plat and below or something like that. Or even if you did a tournament where it's like maybe you and I could queue for a tournament, like maybe you could play with like Spin and then the other 3 are like literally random, like you don't get to draft them at all. Something like that. But I just think like any tournament to get people, I think it's fun to get people involved in comp SMITE who haven't before, especially if you can like scrim and do all those things, because I think it's such a unique side of SMITE that a lot of people don't get to actually play.
Yeah, I'm sure so many people are learning so much just playing with all the players. Like Coast, I know, has been scrimming. You've been scrimming. Cyclone's team's been scrimming. So you probably pick up a lot if you haven't really played that much comp or even just like SOC or SEC. Yeah.
Dude, Spin is the craziest, like... He's the best leader ever, I've decided. Like, he had them, like, scrim one we play against them.
Okay, his team's stacked, though. I'm not going to lie.
He drafted really well, for sure. They're all, like, I think all of them have comp experience, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he's got Miggy and Karmic on his team, so, like, his team is super stacked.
Yeah.
Karmic went so late, I feel like. I wanted Karmic so bad, but Miggy stupid yoinked him, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of players there's a lot of his team is really, really good. And they all, like... You can tell they all like actually want to play together as a unit, but their first game, it was like honestly the most like ferryman style comp I've ever played against. They're Sobek Bog duo lane. They're like pressure solo, pressure jungle, and then the only difference is they played Kakak in mid. And I'm just like, yeah, that's gonna like I don't know how to explain to people like how to play the game. I'm like, if you get plucked, you're dead. If you let them pull the objective, they're gonna Kakak and Alta. It's gone. Like, also they're gonna split push, so you got to cover that. It was I don't know, it was so fun.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the desk guy seems pretty good too. I think I watched one of your guys' games. He was playing Kukulkan, like you said.
Dude, he owned me a couple times.
Yeah. But yeah, no, his team's really good. But I think they're playing against like El Leon's team in the first round, right?
Is Elion playing support? I actually don't know.
I don't know, but I know his team is really good. Like most of his team was a SCC team. I think like 4 of the players. So I think they're also like a really stacked team too.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be good. I think my team will do pretty well.
Does Davey mind? His ping shouldn't be that bad, right?
It's like 100. He said 110.
It's
Not that bad, but we probably won't have as much scrims as a lot of the other teams just because of it's hard to
schedule
it. Yeah. But I mean, the team we're playing in the first round is not going to really scrim either because they have, I think, 3 EU and 2 NA. So
it was that April's team.
April's team, yeah. Oh. Unless they do scrim, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
is April from the UK? I actually don't know.
I actually don't know either.
I wonder how bad his ping is. Yeah.
Does anyone know in chat?
I didn't get to talk to him much at Worlds, honestly. So
yeah, I have no clue. But he was cool. After our games, I was like, "Oh, you're a beast, dude."
Yeah, the only time I saw him is he was coming off the stage and I was going on or something. I just said, "You're fucking nuts," and that's it. That's all I got to say to him.
Germany, someone said.
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Oh yeah, no. You know what? I feel like maybe I didn't talk to him directly. I feel like I asked someone about where he's from because they told me.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I was talking to Deathwalker. I think he was telling me because I was asking where he was from. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember.
Kind of related to Bobby's tournament. We didn't get to touch on it as much last episode, just talking about season 11, how you feel about it. How have you been liking it? You've been playing a lot of ranked. I've been playing more so this past week a good bit.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's hard though. Like I've been on a big loser streak lately.
Dude, same the past 2 days.
I've been like, I cannot win. Like I got my first win streak rolling last night, but it was after a massive loss streak. I went from like 2,400 MMR down to 2K. I think I'm like at 2,180 again or something now, but I just can't string together like more than like 3 wins like ever. It feels like right now.
Are you duo queuing a lot or just queuing solo?
Yeah, duo queue. So just both.
Yeah.
But I guess I deserve it. There was one day where I won 14 out of my 15 games. I won 14-1. So I deserve to have a couple bad days, I feel like, after that. So
Dude, T-Dog mentioned it in chat. Someone linked me that clip of you. You were talking. Were you in voice chat? Who were you? It was just voice chat for the game.
Yeah, just voice
was
chat. Was
everyone in voice chat?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude.
Yeah, everybody that was hitting the fire giant. It was funny because before that, I'm like, the clip doesn't even show. I'm like, we let this Kukulkan come in, and we could either bomb secure it or kill him. I'm not a fan of bomb securing, honestly, that much. But like against one tank, I feel like it's fine.
Yeah,
but
they shouldn't be able to kill the bomb.
Yeah, but I don't know. That was so bad. I hated that, dude. That made me take a break from voice comms.
It was so funny watching. For people who haven't seen it, there's basically a clip where Aurora's team is pulling Fire Giant. Are you guys like 4v1, 5v1?
3v1 against a soul laner.
Okay, it's a soul laner, and you guys were all pretty healthy.
We're full health. Yeah, we were from base. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No one else could have ever made it there. It was like there were like 40-second res timers. EFG. We would have 5-man EFG if we got it.
And he's literally spamming for probably 30 seconds. Like, I'm gonna bomb secure it. Stop DPS at 1,000. Stop hitting it. Stop hitting it. He's saying this like. Fire is like full health when you start saying it. And then Fire gets low and he's like, stop DPS, stop DPS. I'm going to bomb it at 1K. And people just DPS it. They could get so
he says, I'm going to secure it.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine if he tried to secure it at like 1,000. But he tried to do
2.5.
It was 1,899, I think, exactly. I'm like, why? At least. Like, just wait till it's like 1K. It's not like we're going to burst it.
Like what, that Kukulkan's going to ult it for 2K?
He's all our damage. Like, he's the one DPS. I'm fine with letting him secure it, but, oh, man.
Yeah.
So many bad. And then there was a game last night I was duo queuing with Kiki, actually. I've just lost. I've deserved some of my losses for sure. Or dumb stuff happens like that and I just lose. Like we tried a 2-man FG, like as Maman, like tank Maman and like Karon.
You were playing Maman?
No, he was
you were
like,
playing Karon. Okay.
Yeah, I was Karon. He was tank Maman. We tried doing it at like 18 minutes into the game. And we ended up not getting it, but we got a double kill off it. But Kiki like didn't farm for like 2 minutes and he had like a 2-level lead and then he lost it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't worth it. But, oh man. But if anyone can, if you have a T-Dog, Can you permit someone? I don't know if I have a mod here, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. I saw you got timed out. You got wrecked.
Actually.
But if someone can permit him, that'd be great. If not, I could try to link it later
Billy
on.
Maybe Billy can.
Oh, maybe.
He's in here. I don't know if you are, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny watching that clip because I remember when the bomb first came out in scrims, I tried to take the bomb and tell people to like, because I treat it like WoW, like I was just like stop DPS here or whatever. And also like half my teammates have played WoW before, so I'm just thinking like, surely you guys understand how to like slow DPS, stop it, whatever. And then like I think Vote was playing a crit hunter, and he just like triple crit it like right beforehand, and it just owned the gear. And I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing that again. I just try to time it with the DPS only now, and then if I get it, I get it.
It was funny. We let Cyclone bomb secure. I think it was game 1 against you guys, or game 1 against, or game 2. It was against one of the teams at Worlds. He bombed it, and we left it at 37 HP for like 6 seconds. No one hit it. I don't know if you remember that. It was literally 30. We all left the pit, and he bombed it. And if anyone was there, they would have definitely stolen it.
Was it the game when...
Maybe it was game 2 against Scarabs. I don't remember.
Okay. I was wondering if it would be game 1, because there were a few times game 1 he was the only one on it. Like after like late game, you know, when he had primal and stuff, he would just try to solo it. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You got it. Yeah, but if you guys want to check the clip out, it's in chat. But it's so funny.
I'll try to link it up for the VOD for people who are listening later as well.
But yeah, no, bomb securing is so it's good for sure. I feel like, but if there's a lot of people around the pit, it's still not like guaranteed.
You know what I
at
actually
all.
miss is when Frenzy, because Frenzy's not really in the game anymore, right? But
yeah, you have to go Heavenly or Barrier. But
yeah, but like
they're not nearly as good as Frenzy was.
Yeah, because when you could Frenzy bomb, the Frenzy would impact your bomb as well, and you could bomb for like 1.4K or something, and it made securing so easy. You just had a bigger window, right?
Yeah, that's true. Dude, the Frenzy was so broken. Dude, I cannot believe that there was the Frenzy stacked for the longest time. And it's so funny that the Ravens got owned by it because they practiced Frenzy stacking all the way up until playoffs. It got nerfed one day before playoffs. We might have talked about this on, I don't think
we did actually.
Did we not? But yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, they practiced for that. They practice Frenzy stacking, gets nerfed, and then it's just like GG. Like their entire strategy they've been working on for like the last like 3 weeks is just gone.
Well, it was weird because I feel like Frenzy has had, when it first came out, I'm pretty sure it's stacked, and I thought they fixed it.
They did fix it.
Yeah, and then it came back. I don't remember what made it come back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. It was something this year that made it restack.
Because Bracer used to do the same thing. You could do T2 Bracer and the upgrade, or you could stack the 2 upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brutal McNeely time. Shout outs to them. I saw the first time I saw Frenzy stacking, like when Frenzy was in the game, I saw them doing it with Nuwa ult and like double Fafnir. Oh my god, it was so
is that the arena clip where they like one shot everybody?
Yeah. Dude, I got to meet them. Did you get to meet them at Worlds or no? I got to meet Snort and Leaf. And I think those are the 2 guys they said that run that channel now, the BMT channel.
I feel like I did, but I might be trolling. I feel like I at least met Leaf, but maybe yeah.
I sat behind him. You know how there was like the coach bus that brought us from the hotel to the after party that lasted like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. But on the way back from the after party, I sat behind them and I got to talk to them. And Snort was so drunk, it was so funny. He was gone.
Dude, honestly, it's impressive if people were able to get drunk at that after party. With 1, how short it lasted, and 2, how hard it was to get a drink.
Yeah.
Like, you had to really work for that. Shout out to the after party.
The hotel was dude, that's more my style. I was down with the hotel lobby.
That
was cool to just hang out and talk to people there.
Yeah, in general, that's what I prefer. Like, just talking to smaller groups of, like, friends.
Because that area is way bigger as well. Like, that after party space, you're, like, bumped. I feel like I was there only for like 10 minutes and I just felt like I was in the way of everybody the entire time I was there.
Yeah, it makes me really like situations like that are what give me social anxiety. Like I don't normally feel claustrophobic, but when it's something like that, I really dislike it a lot. Yeah,
I hate being in the way of people. Like even if it doesn't matter, just that feeling is just so annoying for me, and I cannot stand it. My mom is the king of being in the way of people. It's so funny. She has like she has no awareness of people around her. Like I remember we were in California and we were at the movie theater, and she just stopped walking in front of the door, and she caused a huge traffic jam, and it always makes me laugh. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to block a million
Worst
people.
Is the grocery store. Like I try to be aware of it so much, but there's been so many times I've nearly raged at the grocery store because there'd just be like, there's just people talking to each other and they're just covering the whole aisle. And I'm just like,
they have their carts like blocking it.
Yes, dude. I'm like, surely you see the people going both ways. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think season 11, I'm kind of curious. Like, we don't have to go too into it.
Yeah.
But I'm curious on your opinions of like how each role feels or how strong you think everything is. I know I've seen initially I saw a lot of people talking about crit hunters. Then I saw a lot of people talking about like solo laners and supports, but I actually feel like all the roles feel pretty good in general.
They do feel pretty good. I feel like support's definitely good. Okay, this is how I rank the roles in my opinion. But people probably will disagree with me.
Is this for ranked or like strength of the role, like just in general?
Well, just in general for now, because I haven't played comp that much. So, but in general, and I feel like for Bobby's tournament, it's probably gonna be around the same. I feel like jungle is the best still. Like I feel like it's the strongest. Like it just can control the game still more so than any other role. And then after that, I think it's tied between solo, support, and hunter, and then mid's the worst is what I think.
I agree with that in terms of like map impact. Jungle will always be the highest. I actually think in terms of like item and god strength, I actually think jungle is maybe weaker than the other 5.
Jungle is worse this year 100% than it was last year, but just the way like they just control the game. Like you can get, if a jungler gets ahead, it gets your entire like team ahead. That's 100%, the thing.
Yeah. I mean, it'll always be that way, right? Like if a jungler opens up the game, like snowballing it with ganks or something, the game just feels over. I do think though, if you are jungle is the only role. I haven't played solo actually. I've played the other 4 roles a decent amount. In ranked, I played jungle the most for sure. But like jungle is the only role that I've played that I feel like if I'm behind, it's really hard to get back into the game.
Yeah.
And I think this like I kind of think whenever as a support player, I felt this way too. Like if you're the support player and you're ahead and your team's ahead, I feel like it's so easy for me to shut down the enemy jungler because like one, if I'm the same level as them, normally I cannot trade them. And also, like, I think supports in general kind of just counter junglers in team fights. Like, a lot of your main priorities is, like, peeling them and stuff. So that has been the worst feeling to me. Because, like, if you're mid and you're behind, like, let's say you're a Merlin or something, like, you're going to be weak for a while, but at least, like...
You'll be strong eventually.
Yeah, you can farm eventually and get pretty strong, or you can, like, even if you have to defend on sieges. But I felt like if you're a jungler and you get behind, I feel the same way. Like when I'm ahead of another jungler, I feel like I can just hunt them in their jungle and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So how I look at it, for the strength, for each role, like it really comes down to like how many games can you get into that feel unwinnable for each role? This is how I'm ranking it. Like jungle, like you have the least amount of those games.
For sure, yeah.
They're not always winnable, but you have the least amount, I feel like, in jungle.
I feel like the early game, like if you wanted to, you could like try to spam gank early, and there's like a pretty good chance that
but there's just some games that ranked you can't win. But jungle has the least amount. And then support, hunter, and solo, I feel like are right behind jungle, and then I feel like mid has like the least amount of like chance to win games, like just unwinnable game states that you can't really come back from, even if you're like a really good late game god. Because what ends up happening to mid laners, like for them to be able to function, they have to have a good jungler, because if they don't have a good jungler, they're going to lose every fight in mid early, and then they're going to lose mid camps, and then if they have a support that just comes mid and leeches every wave with them, they're just
get 0 farm.
They're just gonna get no farm, and then if you have no farm, you're just gonna die to the other support. If the other support's fed, if the other support's not fed, then you're just gonna die to the jungler, because the jungler is gonna be really fed because your jungler is behind. So, I don't know. Mid is hard because I feel like mid relies on like a lot of like it really relies on support in jungle to have like a good, even solo lane as well. Like if solo lane's losing, like totem early for mid is huge, and also just any solo lane rotation to mid also affects him a lot. So I feel like mid gets affected by every other lane more so than every other lane, kind of, because you can kind of make an impact as a soul laner on dual lane now with the teleporter, but it's not like the same for like a mid laner. I feel like if you get dove by a soul laner.
It's funny that you said this because I almost tweeted this the other day. And it's like a little mini rant I have. I actually think the number one like kind of new mistakes people do, definitely, okay, if you're at like high level play, right? Like if you're playing support, you're obviously going to recognize times where like you can go mid and be really impactful when it's like worth splitting there. But the average player, especially when I was doing the early on like reset games when you're still around like, 1500 MMR or whatever.
Yeah.
Every support just default goes mid because that's what you always used to do in previous seasons. And I actually think it's the one thing that people should try to stop doing if they can. Because normally what happens is you go mid and then two different things happen. Number one, your ADC probably gets owned if their support stays there because they... one won't be able to get like proc camp or the little like Naga camp, and they're just gonna get pushed in. It's really easy to lose their purple or lose their beads or whatever. Like they just can't play their lane. And then number two, along the same lines, bastions are actually worth a lot. And like if the other hunter can just sit there and hit the bastions because their support's around, like 200 gold is a pretty big deal. Like if you get like, especially if you get them early game, like if you get your devos online early, like you're just gonna be far behind as the other hunter.
And if you split them as a support, it's really good for the support as well.
For sure. It just is literally ward money, right?
Yeah.
Like just 50 gold for each. You just get wards out. And then the third thing is it's actually pretty hard to accomplish things in mid. Like if you're a support, normally you're around level 5 when the other mid is like level 7-ish in most games. If you go mid and they don't have beads down and you don't have blink, it's really hard to get to mid laners if they're aware in general, because all they do is they ward the spot like on the beacon. And I feel like people will just go mid as support, they leech their mid laners waves, and then you like if you're not getting like every mid harpy camp off of it, or if you're not invading like red, which I think is really hard to coordinate in ranked.
Super hard. You have to get mids if you go mid. Like it's a must, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't get them, or if you get them but like let's say your jungler does the mids off of your mid pressure and the mid laner doesn't get no farm, they're just behind. Like your ADC is behind, your mid is behind, and the game just feels horrible, I think, for them. I feel like winning duo lane feels so good right now that I feel like you just should stay there if you're a support, if you can.
Yeah, I guess the other thing, speaking on that as well, is like the starts. I feel like everybody I've talked to feels like the dual lane start feels really good.
You're just going to lane level 2, you're saying?
Just that start in general. I was talking to Genetics too in his chat, and he said he was liking it as well. And Zap as well said he liked it. But it's just the fact that you don't have to rely on the other person to perfectly, like last year, I hated ranked.
Oh, when you're like pulling the triple camp or something?
Yeah, like there's so much room for error last year. Like even if you do 2 camp last year, like backs plus green, and then you walk to purple, like if your hunter's not hitting the green buff the entire time there, like you're literally gonna get the lane later, and you're just gonna lose. You're gonna literally lose lane off buff clear, and then if you lose lane in some games, like in ranked, especially if like IQ, I'm high MMR, I'm supposed to win my lane and like kind of snowball, and I end up losing my lane because of buff clear. It just feels really bad.
For sure.
So that's why support, in my opinion, feels way better, is just because the level 1 buff clear. Just that's it. That's what makes it feel like way better for me, at least. And like I lose, like I don't lose as much sanity queuing, because there were so many games last year I queue ranked and we messed up the level 1 buff clear, and it felt like my game was just ruined from the start of the game, and there was literally nothing I could do to really get back into the game unless the other people in the lane made a mistake or I got a jungle gank. So
I think along those same lines, my favorite thing is that having the proc camp just be on the outside of the lane, I love it so much. Like you can still get ganked early. Like the jungler can do like speed red, then do speed.
Doesn't feel nearly as bad though.
Yeah, like they could do backs and then come to duo if you're fighting. But if they do that, like I hated it before last season because you could always go mid, push, get mid harpies, and still be there for proc camp. But now I feel like if you go gank duo, like you're guaranteed losing something as the jungler. And also like if you level 2 gank, it's really easy for the other mid jungle to hit level 3 and then like cut you off. Like you can't really go back to them if they're aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, like if you get mid pressure and do duo side mid harpies, a lot of the time, like by the time you're done, like the mid harpies spawn at a minute, right? So even if you're on them perfectly on time, you clear them at like 110, the duo lane still has time to like push the wave into tower, and then it's really hard. Like if your dual lane has to clear a wave, you can't just like 1v2 their dual lane on the prop buff. Like you have to go so far.
There's a lot more like strategy I feel like that's involved as well. Because like the other thing that's nice for the dual lane that's getting ganked, especially on proc camp, like the jungler has to make a proactive play. Like they can't just sit in the jungle and wait for you to walk into prot. Like you see the jungler walk to prot, so you see where he's at if he's gonna pull prot, and if he doesn't walk to prot and ganks you, like you can kind of. I've turned so many ganks like 2v3 this
especially
season.
if they fight in a wave or something.
Yeah, like there's a lot more skill I feel like involved with ganking dual lane now. Like you have to have, as a jungler, you have to have more knowledge of actually how to gank it. It's not like you just show up to prot and it's gonna be good. Like that's what it was like. That's why I felt bad last year. Like if you just showed up to prot as a jungler, like it's just gonna be good because prot was the only camp that was there. If you got prot, even if your dual lane didn't split it, it'd be better if your dual lane split it. But if you just got it, and the other dual lane didn't get it, they can't really create a lead.
To play back anyways too, because like
it
was so easy for them to sit there and then like let's say you're a support like Fafnir or something that can't die, or like Charon, like if you go face check it there, they can just play the corner and wait for you, where like you said, now they have to like literally walk across your face.
So it just feels so much better as like the laner. Like it doesn't feel like the jungler has complete control. So that's another reason why jungle feels a little bit worse, but still it's just so strong. Like if you get a good start for your team, you can kind of just blow open the game.
Honestly, the biggest thing that feels really OP to me in jungle is your first item spike. I didn't really think about it that much or realize it when I was playing support, but like their first item spike is literally just quicker than everyone's. Like, because solo laners buy so many potions at the start of the game. Like as a jungler, I can save gold at the start if I want. Like I could literally buy 1 health, 1 multi-bot and be done with it. And then mid laners, they're like Book of Thoth is like the normal item. It's like 2,500. Devo's like 2,400. Thebes or Cloak are both 2,350. Jotun's just 2,200, and I can buy less pots than everyone else. Like I'm just a quick
tier 1 too. It's OP.
Buy what?
The tier 1 of Jotuns.
Oh yes, it's just a ton of power. Yeah. So you're so strong right away, and also having Golden Shard. Like your first round of jungle clear, I feel like there used to be a lot of characters that wouldn't clear as fast. Like Serket, for example, has good clear, but her cooldowns are so long. And now, like, if you really wanted, you could just go Golden Shard on Serket, and your cleave auto just alone will literally one-shot back Harpies. Like, they're just gone instantly. So I feel like jungle clear speed and their first item spike being so quick, if you're, like, if you know what you're doing, like, I can get Jotuns, I can start pathing duo, and then as I'm running duo, their support is going to get their item off that wave, and they normally want to back. But the hunter wants to stay for Devos. It's just the freest gank ever. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that, but I think as time goes on, the like ADCs and stuff, they'll be more aware and they'll play back. But until then, it's just free kills and the jungler ruins the game.
Yeah, that's a lot of our plays we made like during last season is just Sino getting his like first item, and then we actually try to like make an invade play on blue or just fight on mids or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So broken if the jungler gets, because it's just such a broken item too. Like if you go Jotuns, or I think Jotuns and Atalanta's was a little popular for a little bit as well.
Is good too. Yeah, it's like 2,350, I want to say.
Yeah, they both just have flat pen. You just do way more. You just have an item, like a full item, and you just do so much more damage than
if you get
else.
Yellow Tiki on your first Tiki as well, it is actually broken. Like if you get Yellow Tiki plus a pen item, I guess it's the same as last year. They had like their flat pen bonus, but I think I could be wrong. I feel like Yellow Tiki
it's more because
you had to scale up your levels as jungle.
Yeah. I don't know how much flat pen you got at max levels jungler, but I think you started less than 5 flat pens. So
yeah. I think you capped at 10 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you get Yellow Tiki early game, it feels so easy to kill everybody.
Yeah, mages do feel worse though too. That's another reason why I think mid is not as good. Like the ability hunters are OP. Tsukiyomi is OP. I'm sure if you're a good set player, he's good as well, but I feel like there's not many good set players. I haven't
seen people play set.
Yeah, I think he's good for
Golden
sure.
Shard set has to clear pretty well.
I think he'd be good. I think you could just even get away with going Horn Shard on set still if you really want.
I'm sure you could, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's good, but set's hard to play. But I don't know. The physical, it's a big W for all the physical guys, I feel like, this patch. I think mages are struggling. There's some good mages still, like Vulcan, Merlin. Janus is good.
Really, you like him, actually.
I actually think he's good right now for the first time in a long time.
His clear is really good.
If it was comp, I don't think he'd be as good, but in ranked, he's for sure good. But like Vulcan, Merlin, Kukulkan, they're all good in ranked and comp. The other thing that's nice too about streaming, which is why I've enjoyed it more, I think, especially like the last couple weeks, is I don't have to like. I would turn on my stream and I would purposely try not to talk about anything of what I actually thought was good, and now I just don't care because there's no comp at all. So like if someone asked me, like, that's why I didn't like streaming a lot either, is because someone would be like, do you think this is good? And then like I'd either give them like a really bad answer, say the wrong thing, or just ignore it. And that always felt really bad. So like I'm like, I don't want to stream if I'm gonna like lie to people or like just give them bad info.
I would just give them ranked only answers, like no matter what, if I could.
That's what I would do too. But like even then, like ranked only answers a lot of the time is like a lot of it transitions. I feel like for comp, I feel
it can for
sure.
So
it's hard, but not. I just don't care right now. So it's nice. Like if someone asks me a question, I'll actually give them the answer, and I feel like I'm like, oh, like when I turn my stream, I would be like a game, like, oh, I can't think of this, and like same thing with like even like banning characters in ranked. Like I wouldn't ban anything I think was good ever in ranked if someone was watching. Like I would always ban like random stuff. I'm like thinking in my head, I wish I could ban this guy, but I'm just not going to, because even if it like gives someone an idea that I think this god is good, like I never wanted to do that. So I don't have to think about anything. Like I thought about way too much stuff.
You're just trying to like play ranked, and when you're ranked games, you're just hanging out. Yeah,
exactly. It just feels so much better. So it's fun.
You know, the biggest thing I've actually noticed, you were talking about mages feeling worse.
Yeah,
I played Maman jungle, and her damage early feels so much worse. It's crazy. Like just having 20 less power is so nuts. Because I remember I'd play her. I didn't play her much, but like I'd play her in a couple of ranked games, and I would just walk to the wave at level 2. I'm just one-shotting it, and if they played up on me at all, like I'm just spamming my one, their mate is just dead, and now I'm canceling it like 5 times. They're still like 60% health. I'm just like so confused.
Yeah, she's so bad.
I feel like she's horrible now.
She's a cool character though, and I feel like you can make highlight plays on her for sure, especially if you get fed. She definitely has.
If you get fed, she's still one-shots for sure.
She still does a lot of really good damage, but I feel like the god itself, she's so easy to kill. She's there's so many gods that are good against her. Like, my favorite thing is playing Ares against Maman, because if they dash in someone, you ult the Maman, they get pulled out of the person they dash into. And I love when they always message me and say, oh, you can do that? They do that every time. It's my favorite thing ever.
That happens so much. I played Maman against the Emoja, and she kept trying to ult me off cooldown. I would just dash through the wall, and people just don't know that it works that way.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Dude, we played a scrim. Sina was playing it like the first like couple times. Or was it closer to Worlds, but we didn't really play against... We were playing against Odin. I think it was Final K playing Odin. And he didn't know the entire game that he could dash out of Odin cage.
Oh, my God.
Because we were going to, like, win the game, and he got caged, and he had Odin was coming for him, and he dashed away, and then he got caged. I'm like, why'd you dash when he was right there? And he's like, what do you mean? I was trying to live. I'm like, he's going to cage me. I'm like, you could just dash out of the cage. He's like, oh, I forgot about that. It was so funny.
Dude, when we took a break after the, like, first tournament, I still don't know what to call it, like, regionals, I don't know. We scrimmed against the Warriors, and I played Yemoja, and Pandy played Maman. And I ulted him once at a proc camp, and it was like one of those close scenarios where like they were on the edge of the ult, and I just tried to catch him, and he to me it looked like he skipped through, but I think he like dashed and like went on the other side. Now I'm like, oh damn, bad ult by me, whatever. And then there was another time late game, I like pick him by himself, and I 3-him and auto him to make sure he can't blink, and then I ult him, and he just dashes through, and I was like, what? And then Nico's like, did you forget he can go through your wall? And I'm like, oh my God. I just grieved. So we lost the fight instantly and lost the game. I'm like, yeah, guys, that might have been my bad.
Yeah. No, Maman, I feel like Maman was overrated at Worlds a little bit too. She was good though. I think she was good, but she was not OP like people were saying. I remember I started playing Ardio because Ardio, if you want to destroy a Maman, you just play Ardio. Maman can't do anything against an Ardio. It's crazy.
I still kind of think that it might be a troll opinion, but I still do think people were pretty
bad.
Bad at her and like under practice, because I see it very similar to like maybe even Set. I feel this way. Like half the battle is just knowing when to go in and like knowing your limits. And I feel like people didn't really know their limits that well. Like I still think something people don't do on Maman enough is like when they blink in, I swear so many people dash out and try to live. And I feel like people should treat her dash almost like like a Ramu or a Dajia and just buy time. Like just go sit in it and buy time, like wait for your frontliners to like go in and like take aggro off you or something. But I feel like everybody would like blink in, try to ult, try to dash out if people like Aegis their ult and turn on them. You're just so easy to kill. Like
Yeah.
it's so free for a support. Like I can just shell your damage, or like I was playing a lot of Afro and stuff. Like if I I felt like I would Afro ult a Maman ult and then she would just like try to live, and I'm fast. I have a link. Like I'm gonna catch you if you play it like that. And
Yeah, it's so bad.
yeah, it's just horrible for them. So I don't know. Like everybody, like people definitely got pretty good at her, but I feel like using her as a team is. I just think jungle is pretty tough in comp play at least because especially if people are playing like front to back and they're playing like like Merlin Afro or Tiamat and Khepri or something like that.
So
like,
hard.
A jungler killing someone by themselves, like good luck through relics. It's so tough.
It's almost impossible to kill someone unless they make a mistake. They have to make a mistake for you to be able to get a kill by yourself.
For sure. Yeah. Have you what's your opinion on the relic upgrade quest? Have you felt about that stuff?
I think it's good. I think it's a little slow sometimes, it feels like.
For support?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Or just in general, it feels a little slow. I think the minion kill one is still like the first one, but the nice thing is you can bypass it by just upgrading it to T2. So
yeah. I think my biggest opinion is that I think it should be different for each class. Like
that'd be cool, yeah.
Like I think assassins and guardians on the assassins specifically on the second tier quest, it's really hard to hit someone 90 times. Like as a assassin.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
It's really, really tough to do that. Whereas I think like
a guardian, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, like the minion,
soul laner.
Soul lane, it's so easy. The minion assist one, I actually think feels pretty good for everybody, especially the second relic minion assist. I actually think feels really, really, really good. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. That'd be cool. Like if they made like the minion kill one for each class, like different, like Hunter, you have to last hit minions. Mid, you just have to get a bunch of minions. Soul lane.
Well, it's tough because you have things like, what if people play like Suki or Cleo mid or something? Or what if like people play like Gilga jungle? So doing it by class, I'm not really sure how you could do that, and you can't really tie it to the starter items. Like, I guess at the end of the day, there's always going to be something that'll feel a little bit better than it will for other people, but that's the only thing I've noticed.
That's why Mystical's good too. I like Mystical.
Yeah, you just rock it.
You stack the second stage of it so fast with Mystical.
Mystical. I really want to play support more. I've just been playing jungle because I feel like I want to try to get better at it so that I don't grief my team more than I already have by not playing support. But yeah, support looks so fun, man. Just doing like cloak, mystical mail, like I want so badly to just go like horrific or blink plus thorns every game and just grief backliners. This is my favorite thing ever.
You should. I feel like you gotta play it after Bobby's tournament. I feel like you'll like it
so badly. I'm sure I would. I've said it on stream a couple times too, and I'm half joking, but I'm kind of serious. Like, I am a little salty that the first year that we don't have comp is like, I would love this support meta so much. I'm so sure of it. Because I don't even think like
it's a fun support meta.
I don't think it's bad. Like, I'm sure you could play like Khepri or Afro or something and play Peel like 100%.
Afro's good. Yeah. For sure still. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure I could play Afro. You would still do well in lane. You could still like Peel for your carries. Like, I don't think you have to play like mystical mail dive support every game, but just the fact that you can do it is so fun to me. I just love it.
Yeah, Thorns, mystical mail. Someone's saying I gotta talk about how Ares is overrated. Ares is overrated. Like everybody says he's OP. I think he's like A B tier. Like Charon and Sobek and Afro are way better than him. It's crazy. I feel like my 3 top gods right now for support are Afro, Sobek in 1 and 2. I feel like Afro's a little better. You can argue that Sobek's better, but those are 1 and 2, and then Charon's number 3. Like those seem like the best gods I've played so far in ranked.
Have you played Atlas much at all?
I haven't played that much Atlas. I think he's good though right now as well.
Yeah, I was just
probably trailing right behind him.
I haven't played, but like my brain thinks like it would make sense for him to be good, but I haven't played enough to
He's really probably good with music. I gotta play more Atlas. I love Atlas. He's so much fun
to me. Yeah.
No, Ganesh. Ganesh is not good right now because he's like okay in lane. He's like one of the worst gods.
I think your level 2 kind of sucks a little bit. Like walking the lane.
It's not the worst.
Sylve at all? I saw you play a Sylve solo game, but I haven't seen you play support. I don't think.
Yeah, I've played him support. He feels pretty good too, but I'm sure I feel like Sobek and Afro are definitely the best, and then after that it's probably like You could probably throw Atlas, Charon, Sylve, like all like right below, and then Ares as well, like those four. Like, but Sobek and Afro definitely feel the strongest of what I've played because I've played a couple Afro games and Afro still feels really oppressive. Like
her lane,
yeah,
I feel like her lane is just so good. Like, there's so many things about her.
Kumba, I played him. He's playable right now, which is cool.
I watched you play him. You
Yeah.
looked like you were having fun.
I played bad the last game I played him last night, but
I don't think I saw that one. It was a couple days ago, I feel like.
yeah, but he's playable. Like last season, he was not playable. I feel like if you picked him, you're just gonna lose. Because the thing with Kumba last season, this is why I like this season a lot as well. Is like the jungle start. You just couldn't pick him because he couldn't do the jungle start at all.
Yeah, it's
so
awful.
you just lose because you picked him because of the
I
jungle
actually kind
start.
of felt like that with Fafnir too. Like,
yeah, Fafnir.
I just felt like he was unplayable.
Fafnir's good right now, I feel like, as well, because the jungle story. Like, he's playable as well. He's probably, like, lower tier than the other gods I said, like, after that. But he's good right now. I've been playing a lot of He's so... Fafnir's fun.
Him, like, one day, like, only Fafnir was kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm so mad. I felt like I was owning every game I played him, but I lost, like, every game. But he feels really good right now.
I feel like he
really
always
strong.
feels really good if people are doing, like, the ability-based hunters, like you said. Like, I always like playing, like, Fafnir AMC, like, just hammer and the stinger is so strong, or... If you're a jungler and solo get ahead, playing Fafnir feels so good. I feel like because you can snowball the game and like pulling fire with a Fafnir in dragon form is like the best feeling ever.
It's like having like a secure mage almost. Like it's like a pseudo secure, and it makes the other team like they have to walk in, and it's just so easy
having
for you
to walk into you when you're in dragon form feels so good.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people undervalue having the ability to make the other team walk towards you because I always tell people, especially people that I coach or just people that ask me in general, like the best thing you can do late game in a team fight for your carries as a support is not peel. It's to make peeling is good, but like the best thing that can happen, you can't really do it by yourself as a support. It's like kind of through macro, I guess, around the map, or like maybe if certain gods like Kukulkan does it, it makes it really easy. If you make the enemies have to walk into your carries, it's so much easier for them to play the fight instead of like if you're a hunter trying to chase somebody down and shoot them, like it's way harder to play because then you get flanked by the jungler and then you're like, what the heck, I'm dead to the jungler, I'm trying to go on this guy. Yeah. But if the team's walking into you, you see the jungler walking into you, you see the support, like they walk into you and you're able to go on them. It feels so much better as a carry, I feel like.
I feel like I can talk about this now that we're not playing SPL. That was actually the number one thing I was so mad. Like mad is like trying to explain that to people or like trying to get my like the last year's dragons, like trying to tell them like what I was trying to say, because I was trying to like get us to play the map better, like especially early and mid game, and I kept trying to say like all these games are hard because we're the ones reacting, like we're the ones like I have to face check Gold Fury and then I have to guess like are they playing the corner to kill me, are they burning it, like it's so like for your carries it's way easier, but it's also so hard for the enemy front line, like when you have to toe that line between like are they committing, do I have to go in and start a fight, or like are they trying to pick me, are they just trying to poke me out, like it's so hard. And I've said it on stream a lot the last couple times we've like scrimmed for the Bobby tournament. I'm just like, I don't know like how to show, like honestly I should have VOD review with them, but I'm just like, the easiest thing for me to tell you guys, like if we're the ones pulling the objective and they have to walk into us and we're playing a corner with like Ishtar, in my opinion, is like the biggest night and day difference as an ADC. Like if a frontliner has to walk into an Ishtar, I feel like it feels so good for the Ishtar. Like, you can like aggro dash them if you want to. Like, just your ult is so oppressive for them. Like, just having a cripple stun is so nice. But like, if the Ishtar gets dove and she has to ult defensively and stuff, like it feels awful for her. Like, she can't turn and sit there and hit you. But if she gets to shotgun you as like a support, like it feels so different. It's such a big like thing of the game.
And that's the thing too, like a lot of people always say like, oh, they wasted like 5 ults on that guy to kill him, or they only got him low. But like if you do that to a frontliner to start a fight, even if you waste 5 ults, like it's so good. Like that's why Saito's Neja was so much better than everybody else's, because he used it to go on frontline to start fights.
Yeah.
Like even if we don't kill him, like just getting him low or taking him out of the fight, it makes it easier for everybody else to play the fight.
100%.
So
yeah.
Just giving, like having something where they have to walk into you and kind of, I guess, react is a good way to say, like to what you're doing is always better.
The crazy thing is it also kind of works for like literally every comp. Like even something like Set that you would think is like a god that like kind of wants to chase, like if your ADC and support are pulling
skewer,
fire,
yeah,
and they have to walk into you get to skewer poke, or if they have to like bulldoze into the pit to stop your hunter from killing it, like he just gets a free flank and you just get to kill whoever you want. It's so nice.
yeah. Like if they walk into you and you get a free skewer on them, and then they use stuff because they're like, oh my god, I just took half my health out of nowhere, and then they use stuff. Seth can just jump on you. He's like the best chase down in the game
For sure.
So.
Dude,
Yeah.
I played one game of Set Jungle for fun. I just wanted to do Mannequin's Hidden Blade because I thought the sound of it was fun. And I 2-1'd, I think it was a Chiron ADC. And my Hidden Blade, my Crusher, my Heart Seeker, plus the 2-1, it literally did 1,400 damage. I just 2-1'd him with Hidden Blade. Didn't have a 3k pot or anything, just 2-1'd him, 1,400 damage. I was like, that is so fun. I love it.
That's so crazy.
It's a
so
little
much fun.
gimmicky, but it is really broken if you get it to go off.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, just having them walk into you is like one of the strongest things in the game, though. That's one thing you should take away from listening to this conversation me and Mike just had. If you want to get better, is if you can put your team in a spot where you're making a play and they're walking to you, you're always gonna come out on top.
It isn't just big objectives, by the way. Like if they have to walk into on like even like a mid harpy fight or like a beacon, I feel like beacon's a big one too. Like if your mage is like last season, like if you had like a Tiamat or a Merlin and they have to like walk into that guy on beacon, it's just the freest poke ever. Like it's so easy to play.
Baba was also like a big
Baba's
one.
a good
Baba
one,
was so broken at beacon. Raijin, oh my god, Raijin was so annoying at beacon.
Yeah, even like Thoth would be the same thing. Yorm,
even though he's not a mid laner, he's a soul laner. Like if you're walking
that was
to
the first patch, right? Like the Masters tournament.
Yeah, if you're walking to a Yorm at beacon, like you're not having any fun, like at all.
Everywhere. Yeah. Honestly, beacon's a really good example because I'm sure everyone knows how that feels. Like no matter what role you are, like when you're trying to contest beacon and you try to walk up, like you can't even get in the circle. They're just poking you. It feels so bad. And then like it just translates, like those little small wins just translate so hard. Like you poke their support, now he has to back and you're healthy. You can do Gold Fury if you want. You can like push the tower if you want. You could dive their mid laner. Like you just open up so many plays from like that small thing. You're grouped ahead of them, and then they have to walk into you. You get free poke. Like it's just game changing.
Yeah, FG. I feel like at gold it's different. Before I say this, at gold you can kind of do it, but I feel like zoning is like the most like outdated like thing in the game. Like you shouldn't zone. Zoning's bad.
Okay.
Like 95% of the time, if you're zoning, it's bad. Like it is like that is like something I feel like in Smite at least. Maybe it's different in other MOBAs, but like that's something that people would always be like, someone's got to go zone at FG. Zoning is not good. Like it's better like if you have a plan of how you want to play the FG. Like when they walk into it. Like if everybody's in pit and they walk in, or like you have like your carries maybe like on the outside of the pit ready to go in, or your jungler or something, like if you have a plan and people aren't going out to zone them, like if you let them walk into the pit to try to contest it, it's so much easier to fight than having a zone.
Dude, my number one pet peeve ever, and this was in comp, in anything, in Arthur zoning, I hate it. It made me so mad. Like in Arthur, like zoning was literally just like, I'm gonna let their carries hit me for fun, and like because you can't dive because your team is on FG, so like you can't dive off of it. You're just getting poked, and then if they come in, like you said, that guy's not a threat at all. I feel like that's a really big thing too, is like people being comfortable with like pulling an objective and letting the other team walk into it, because everyone's like, oh, we can't do that, we're taking damage, but like they're taking damage too because they're walking across,
and you see them as well.
Yeah, you see them. They're walking across the firewall. They're taking damage. Like they also have to worry about like the pools and the knockup and all these other things, and then it just splits them so hard because like that one, I don't know how to describe it, but like people will know what I'm talking about when I like try to explain it. There's like the sideways rock in front of FG where mages will sit behind, like kind of towards their back harpies. Like if you zone and you walk to that rock, if I'm like an Arthur or something and they're a Merlin, like you can't touch him and he's gonna do a bajillion damage to you. Like it feels so bad. That's another thing. Walls in the late game, I feel like people don't think about, like they have over the wall damage. I don't want to be near this wall. That's a big thing too. Like against double hunter comps, the best way to live as a tank is literally sit on a wall. Like you literally just sit next to a wall, and then if they have to walk around the corner, you get to hit them for free. Otherwise, like what are you gonna do by zoning at them? You're gonna walk at them and like let them hit you for free. It's just dumb.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why AMC's like that's why we always say abilities hunters are like so different than actual hunters. Like
for
AMC,
sure.
Chiron, because you have damage over the wall, and that's what makes them so different than like an actual hunter that just has to shoot.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But oh man, I've had something else to say about this topic as well.
It was zoning.
Zoning. Yeah, at Gold Fury, I guess I'll talk about Gold Fury a little bit. I was gonna say that, but Gold Fury, it's good to zone to just kind of see. Like zoning is different too. This is what I want to talk about.
Stages of the game, it's different.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, like if your plan is to have like a way to zone, like if you have like you're like a good person to zone is honestly like your mid laner or like someone that does damage. You want someone doing damage that zones more than a tank. Like
I was gonna say, I feel like every like SPL player kind of knows this by now for sure. But like the best zoner, I actually think of like Tiamat and Baba are like the best.
Yeah,
they're really safe and they have a lot of range, and like their poke is really threatening. It's like actually hard to walk past that guy.
Yeah, because if you get hit by, especially if you're a tank, you're trying to walk in a pit and you get hit by a full like if you get Baba potion, Baba Wonder, like Tia 2, Tia 1, you're either like 70% or like even lower depending on how fed they are and how weak you are, and it just feels so bad.
For sure.
So, but like if you set up plays like that where you have like the mid laner zoning or like you have like the mid laner and then like the soul laner's like playing like right outside a pit and like you'll go on someone that the mid laner pokes. Like having a plan is better than just saying like I'm the soul laner, I'm the support, I'm gonna run into the other team, you guys do fire while we do it. Like I feel like that is like the most like classic like smite thing. I feel like that a lot of players still follow today where they think like, even I see junglers, I saw Loki do it literally in my game yesterday. He went in, we were on fire, and like we can't burn it because he's our jungler as well. Like we need his damage too. And he's the one zoning. And he says, we're on fire, we can't kill it, and he zones, he goes in, he's like, I just half health 2 people and zone them. Why'd you guys not get fire? I'm like, we can't do fire without your damage like that fast. I'm like, you zoning isn't even doing anything. You're just killing yourself for free. It's so bad.
Okay, we're just going through all of our old smite habits that people do that we hate. Like I said, support's going mid, like the zoning thing's another one. Junglers not hitting objectives drives me crazy. Especially if they have Bumba Spear or Seer of the Jungle, they do more damage than the Hunter, and they just don't. Oh my god, they don't hit it. If I've had so many games in ranked, I have like a crit nem or something like that. They one shot fire, dude. If you are a Seer like crit nem, you auto it for like 1,000. You can just sit on it. Like the biggest thing is if they literally pull Pyro, they can solo it by themselves. Like. You think like Pyro has like 10k HP or something. Like if you do that to fire, it's so easy. I feel like junglers do that a lot where they want to flank, but it's the same thing. Like if you're a jungler and you're making their carries walk into you, like yeah, they know where you are, but you know where they are too. And like you're the one actually threatening the jungle. Like when you force the other people to make a decision, their game's really hard because like we're all human. Like no one's a perfect player. You're gonna make a mistake sometimes. Like and if you're the one who has to panic and you make a mistake, like the game can just end on the spot.
That's why God's like I feel like there's mid laners and supports like Ganesh and Atlas, for instance, are like super annoying for a jungler like around an objective because if they are hitting it and you get Atlas ulted as a jungler, it just feels really bad. Same thing with Ganesh. If you just put your ult on the jungler to start a fight, like you're probably gonna win that fight. That's why those gods are so good at FG, and that's why you see like these FG dances. Like you have like these crit nems or like mercs, and like they can like do FG in like 5 seconds, but they don't want to pull it and commit themselves to FG unless they know where the other team is at, because they know if they get ulted by like one of these gods or like a Zeus or something like that, just anything with like a big like circle ult that just does good damage is so hard for the jungler to play around objectives.
That's actually, I get 2 things off that. The first one, that's actually been my favorite thing about Atlas forever is I feel like everyone sees him as like a damage like dive support, and I think a lot of that was because like I think Gamma was one of the guys who like played him a lot originally, and he would always like go damage build and stuff. But like I actually think like Tank Atlas is definitely perfectly fine to play.
Yep. That's how I like to play him too.
Yeah, and I just think like part of it is when you pull fire and you ult on like, say you're the one pulling and they're trying to come into you. If you ult their side of the pit, it covers the whole pit. And then also I can just fire it whichever way. Like if you try to blink past me, like on the side, I'll just turn around, fire it on the jungler or the soul laner and shred them. And then if they all have to walk into me and they like, if you have to take ticks of my ult, like this is like the max of it, right? But like 50% proc shred is a lot. Like if
I mean, it goes like if you're in it, because it applies 3 as well for the laser.
Exactly, yeah.
So like you'll get pretty high on the stacks.
yeah, like it just even insta firing it and getting like 15% proc shred is a lot. Like that's a lot of shred.
It's more though, because if you put, well, it depends. If you put it right on them, you get 1 tick after you fire it, so it's 20%. At least.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying like even if you only get hit by the beam, like a backliner only getting hit by the beam is still a lot.
Yeah, it's like, think about it. Like it's better than Void Dermar
Exactly,
and, Void Shield. So
and it's power reduction as well, so they're doing less damage. I love that character. He's really hard. Like a matchup I always liked a lot. This would happen last year more when she was meta, but it happened a little bit too when people were playing her mid. Is Pele into Atlas is actually a really hard matchup because you have to beads my 2 all the time. I can also like commit to you with my ult and my dash. Like I just do a lot of burst damage to you, and I feel like matchups like that, like if your comp has to all in and I'm an Atlas, you don't want to all in into an Atlas ult. Like it's really hard to fight into that. It's just a really good ult.
it's so good. And I love another underrated part about Atlas. I feel like that people don't like. He's really good. Like this is another thing with Charon as well. If he's not the primary CC in your team, like if you have like a Thorwall or like I don't know, like any other CC in the game, and you get to use your 1-2 on someone as a follow-up and they don't have beads or just even 2ing them. Like I would always joke to Kabam when Atlas came out. He's like, "You like Atlas?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love him. I love playing that guy." And he's like, "He just doesn't seem like your type of guy." I'm like, he has a Fenrir ult on his regular ability. Like if you 2 someone and they don't have beads, it's literally Fenrir ult. Like if you pick them up, it's so broken and it does so much damage. How do you rank Atlas? Because I feel like I rank him differently than everybody else.
And what do you mean by rank him? Like where?
Those abilities.
Oh, like level. It's normally 4, 3, and then it's 1 or 2. I almost always max my dash. There are times if I
hate maxing the dash when I play him. I rank him weird every time, and everybody always says that's how you rank him. I do 4, 2, 1, 3. That's how I rank him.
So if I have a matchup, like if I'm mage supports are really easy. Like if I'm Atlas into Afro, and I know I can like pick her up, or if she has to stun me, I can still pick her up. The 2 is the best for sure because it's like 340 damage. But yeah, I almost always like, to be fair, when I pick Atlas, it's a lot of the time when I think I can dash aggressively. So that's why I'll max the dash is like, I just think the auto cancel is really strong. Like
it's so good.
When you get to like, I think like, especially in lane, people can feel it. Like when you get to 2 auto, 3 auto, and that last auto normally is like a big
slam,
auto. Yeah, if you have it stacked up a little bit. Like when you get to do that chain, especially last year when you had Carapace Shard, I would Carapace Shard them. Like I would 2 them, pop Carapace Shard when they're in the air, auto them on the ground, and then I would dash slow them, auto again. It would be the big auto. Like your CC chain forever, and I do 1,000,000 damage. So that's why I would max the dash, is just a full commit to people like that. But yeah, the 2 is really good. The only thing about the 1 that I really dislike is it is really mana intensive. So if I'm trying to do something like stack cloak, it can feel bad. But that's not as bad when you have like Warband or Sentinels. Like you're pretty good on mana.
Yeah. So like I like ranking the 2 just because like I look at it like Kumba as well. When I play Kumba, I always max Kumba root. Like I've never maxed Kumba 1. Too, I don't like the 1 because I like to use the 1 as mobility, not as like damage. A lot of the time, so that's kind of like how I like to use my Atlas 3. But you can still use it to auto cancel even if you don't rank it. But
that's fair.
It's obviously not as much like straight burst as like the 2 takes time. The thing that's nice about the dash, if you rank it, is if you dash someone, it's instant damage and you get the auto cancel. It's so much burst.
Yeah, I feel like it's really hard to active around the dash in a weird way. Like when you get to like the way I see it is if I get to use my 1-2 as like chase potential, and like part of the thing I think is really strong about Atlas, it's hard to beat in these spots to be fair, but like his chase potential and his gap close, not only for him but his team, is really high because like when you get to dash to speed people up, and I have a slow on my dash, I have a slow on my 1, and also like something I feel like people don't do. They're definitely better about it now, but when he first came out, people don't 1-2 that much as Atlas. But one of my favorite things is like,
I love 1-2ing.
When you 1-2, like let's say it's a siege, part of the thing I love about that character is like you can throw your 1 and put a jungler in combat, for example, and then call your 1 back. And then like now that they're in combat, like I still can like 2 freely. But if they don't respect it, like if they don't respect that I'm wanting them, or a frontliner doesn't respect it and I'm like zoning at like the front of a Phoenix, like if a frontliner is trying to like block Hunter autos or something, I'll just 2 them I'm not at threat at all, and then that guy is just dead. Like, it's a really strong ability.
The 1-2, that's what I'm saying. Like off CC, like if you 1-2 someone like off a Thor wall, it's so broken. Or like 1-2 like with Freya banish, you Freya banish them and you 1-2 them off that. It's just such an OP ability. I remember the first game I played Atlas in SPL. I think he came out sometime in season 8. I think the beginning of the year, right, or at the end of season 7 or something like that.
It was 9. I think 9 was his first year.
Was
Am I
it?
trolling? Yeah, I think
it was
9.
8. No.
It's one of the two. I thought it was 9. Like 9.
It was at the it was the end of 9. You're right, because Sa was on my team when I played him. Because I played him in like the kickoff tournament that year.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, you're right. It was 9. You're right. What's it called? Atlas. The first game I played him, Shinto was playing, I think, AMC, and he like did not respect. He did not respect. It's not that he didn't respect it. I just don't think he knew how my thing worked that much.
1-2.
But I had my 1-up, and he was just clearing the wave. I won the wave, and he walked into it, and I 2'd him, and I gripped him in the center and pulled him, and Paul killed him. He's like, wait, what? Why did he just do that? It was so funny. But it was just so random, because like someone like Shinto, who's like known for playing really safe and just really good, like just walks into your Atlas and dies. It was so funny. I love that.
It's funny you said the follow-up thing, like being able to use your CC as follow-up. That's actually one of the things I always viewed about Serb is like if you play...
Yeah, Serb as well.
Yeah, if you practice him enough, you can get really comfortable with like just hitting your stun like raw, but like I know you and Spin used to play a lot of like Serb Freya.
Yeah, Serb Freya.
That was really good. And then something when I played with Sam we would do is Thor was an easy one, like just stun into stun and do a ton of damage. We also, it like doesn't work every time, but we got pretty good at it, is doing Susano Serb, and he would tell me when he was about to 2, and I would just aim at him. Like if I'm behind him, I would just aim at him and stun off his Susano 2. That's another really strong one. Just some stuff like that.
Yeah, my favorite Divios quote ever, when Divios used to play Serb, or when I would play it, and he would play like Terra or some CC, he would be like, I got the stun, you got the gun.
That's
and then
good.
we called stun and a gun, and he's like, you got gun because I got stun, and that's how we would comment. We call it the stun and a gun combo, and it's so funny. Me and Sino used to do the stun and the gun combo with like Neja Serb as well. Yeah, he was the stun, I was the gun. I loved it so much.
I don't know how much base damage it is now, but I think it was like 420 or 440 or something. His one was like, it's a lot, especially when boots were in the game. Or if you could go like, even now you could go like Void Damaru. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but yeah, you could go that and do a ton of damage.
Speaking of that item, I call it Void Darmamu, like from Doctor Strange. That's what it makes me think of every time, even though it has nothing to do with that. But I was coaching a guy like a couple weeks or like a week ago, and he's like, dude, I call it that too.
That's awesome.
He's like, all my friends call it that, but Void Darmamu, dude. Oh my god.
That's good stuff. That makes sense. I'm sure. I actually don't know much about Doctor Strange, but that's obviously like a popular thing, so I'm sure people get it.
But that's not even what it is. It's like Void. I don't even know how to say it, but I always call it Dormammu.
Is it what Pam type? Dormammu?
Dormammu? No, that's the Doctor Strange villain.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Time Stone like person or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Dormammu.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, but okay, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I didn't really have much more. I was gonna say the only other thing about people troll, because when they'll say stuff like, oh, our comp has no CC or something like that, I feel like in people's head what they're always imagining is something like really simple, like an Athena taunt, like just like, oh, that's like our main CC to go off of. But people really troll. Like the best CC is honestly like really small things, like even like Terra Root, like confirming another CC ability, or something I really like about, like you were mentioning Charon. Like people don't think that they have to bead 0-1, but if you're a jungler and you're diving my backline and I won you, it's like a pretty instant ability.
Broken,
and if it messes up your combo, you're dead. Like it's so easy to peel with characters like that.
Yeah, my favorite Charon thing, we were scrimming the Warriors and Pagon was playing Thoth, and we flanked them, like they were like in middle lane, like walking to our Phoenix, and we flanked him, and he's Thoth, and he like walked up and put his gate down, and he was gonna dash out, and I silenced him. He didn't even dash. Like I didn't catch his dash, but I just silenced him. He didn't beads it or Aegis, and he just got one shot. Like it's so broken, that ability. Sometimes
we had that happen. I think it was Oh, I don't remember the character, but I want to say I think it was a Mori, and she turned into like a Humbots or something, and I rotated mid, and it was like after they used their Humbots ult, and they were like trying to jump the green wall, and I won them, and they kept like auto attacking the wall, like trying to cast their jump. They're just Humbots monkey autoing the wall, and they're just dying. They had beads up the whole time. I remember I asked, I think it was Dardes who was with me to kill the guy. I'm like, did you get their beads before? And they're like, no, I don't think they know that you silenced them. And I just love it. I love small CCs like that.
Dude, I literally played a game I was Fafnir the other day. Like I got Sylvanas ulted while I was trying to jump. I'm like, what knocked me up? I felt like the dumbest person ever. I'm like, and everybody's like in my chat, Sylv ult, duh. I'm like, dude, I didn't even think about Sylv ult. Like, what? It was so troll.
Yeah.
But like, I always forget about small CCs like that, like Charon silence, and it's so good like off other CC as well. Like you Thorwall or whatever CC you have, or like a Herc push, and then you silence them after. Like they're never expecting to get hit by something like that.
Because I feel like people always want to save their relics for like the ideal moment. They're like, oh, I need beads for Athena taunt, Ares ult, Dodgy ult, stuff like that, and they don't think like sometimes you literally need the beads like an Osiris tether, or you're dead, or you like need the beads like I don't know, like sometimes you have to beads like a Nike 2 or something, even if they like jump behind you. And I feel like it just makes it really difficult to play the game if they have a lot of really annoying things. It's more at a comp level for sure because people can be pretty coordinated.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How do you rank Charon, like his abilities?
I didn't play him that much at the end of last year, so I feel like I almost always went like 2-1-3, but I think I see a lot of people do the 1, and that makes sense to me too.
Yeah, because I used to do that as well, like the 2-1. And you know who did it a lot? Who I watched Hurry stream when he was playing Charon a lot. And I was like, oh, he goes.
Yeah.
I was watching his POV stream when he was playing it in SPL. Because he had a couple like decent games on it, and I'm like, oh, he goes as 1, and the 1 just does more damage. It feels like it doesn't go down in like cooldown, but it feels like it just does so much more damage if you get a good 1 off. Like hitting, the best feeling about Charon is if you ever get a 1 when they're stacked.
Yes,
it does so much because a trail does damage to all of them, so you just like are doing so much
and the
damage when they're stacked up
for each person, so it's like a triple trail.
Yeah, so it just stacks damage like crazy fast.
Yeah, it is. My logic for it on characters like that, which I don't think I'm necessarily right, because I definitely think maxing the 1 is good, but I kind of will think of like it's almost the same thing with Atlas, where if I can lead a fight with my 2 and I know I get to pick them up, I like the damage a lot. But sometimes like a Charon 1, I feel worse about using that ability for poke. Like let's say I'm trying to stack cloak or something, like if I'm using my 2, I feel like it's harder for me to choose somebody diving and have my ADC be able to hit them to get the shield off of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if I can just whip my 1 and silence them, I feel like it's almost always good. So I'll sometimes think about like which ability I want to free up, like what I want to use for poke and what I want to be free if they go in after or something like that. But the like high end of having your Charon 1, like you said, like if you're in duo lane and people are like they're pulling like a proc camp, for example, and they're stacked up and you won them both, it's so good.
It feels so strong.
Or if they're on like pulling gold or something like that,
Thing about Charon too that is underrated, the attack speed slowdown 2 is broken.
It's so broken.
It's broken late game too. Like if you go that Charon 2 stacks with like Midgardian or like Bewitched Dagger or whatever, you can make a hunter with max attack speed like under like 2.0 attack speed. It's crazy.
I think it was against you guys actually. The second kickoff, I think Spin played Freya against us, and I played Charon, and I 2'd him every time he used his pulse in lane, and he looked miserable. Like he just couldn't clear the wave because you're just attack speed slowed. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think that Freya. Like, there's so many different metas, I feel like, this year of gods that just feel like they've come and gone. Like,
without
so
really
fast.
any balance at all. I guess the rings did get changed.
They were balanced but a little bit, but still, like, it's just crazy how much change-ups there were this year. There had to be... Do you feel like this year is the most change... Or, like, not this year, last year was the most change-ups ever for, like, gods? I feel like... I was thinking about this the other day.
In terms of, like the rekits and stuff, for sure. Like, by far, it was the most.
It was fun though. It was a fun. Karen mid has been going off. Yeah,
Benny's
you're
been
right, Billy.
owning on it.
Dude, did you see that clip he had where he's like, "I got robbed"? Check out Benny Q's Twitter. He has a clip where he almost gets a pentakill. It's Karen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was super sick.
Dude, I watched him. I tweeted it like a couple nights ago. I was watching.
Yeah,
him.
I saw that.
He lost the game, but I literally like after dinner I pulled him up on my TV. I just went to my Twitch tab and I watched him, and it was like from level 9 on. I watched him. I'm just like, dude, he's owning this game so hard. He's just one-shotting everyone. To be fair, I haven't watched his early game that much. Like, I don't know if it's horrible or not. Like,
It's like okay.
yeah, I don't know if I would
great.
recommend for every other player to play it because, like, obviously Benny's a really good player and he knows what he's doing. But yeah, in team fights, like watching him Mirrodin proc Charon out people for like 1,000 is so funny. There was a game Kenneth was Thor and Kenneth kept trying to go on him, and Benny would like beads 2-1 him and then just alt, and Kenneth would just like he'd try to hammer out and get Charon alted, hit for 1,000. I was just laughing. It like
Oh
it looked
my
so
god,
annoying.
it's so nice. Like if they don't have Aegis, especially as Karen, like you just kill them as a jungler. It's so OP.
Yeah.
Because they can't get away because you just wave them after they try to get out.
It's also
great.
really hard to trade a like bruiser or a damage Charon because your 2-1 just ticks the shield up so much. It just does so much.
Yeah. I love that god. He's so much fun to play too. I feel like he got a lot. He had a pretty bad representation. I feel like at Worlds and like at the. I feel like he's another god that kind of fell into the Mammon territory where people weren't playing him at his full potential. I feel like Jake played really well on him, but
The main reason I didn't play him is because I thought his buff clear was horrible. That
Yeah.
was the main thing for me.
Yeah,
I just
no.
felt like
his buff clear was really bad. Yeah.
his buff clear was really bad. I thought he was really good in the solo lane mage meta. I thought he was really good because I actually thought against characters like Raijin, you're actually pretty
Yes.
annoying. Like you silence him really easily. Like your alt feels really good to chase people in that meta.
Just marking anybody for your mages
Exactly.
as well. Like with
Yeah.
Alpwa, like if you mark someone that's Alpwash dotted or Raijud, like
Yep.
you give them a big shield and it's just really hard for them to die.
Yeah, I liked him a lot in that meta, but when Warriors came back, he just had like the feeling of not having like hard CC can sometimes feel bad. But there's some matchups like people didn't play her as much at Worlds. I don't know how your scrims were, but we like scrim the same teams. But people would play Nike a good bit against us in scrims. I thought he was really good in a Nike because like
Yeah, you just silence her shield or
yeah, really
disarm.
easy silence. Like even the 2 on her when you try to turn on her, it makes it feel a little bit less worse. Like stuff like that.
Yeah, no, he's sick, but yeah, I could see with his buff clear. He was my god pool at Worlds. Like I think I talked about it a little bit last week. Was like it was Sobek, Artio, Charon is probably what I was gonna play. Like what I would go.
Did you
go
play
to.
like you played what like 6 Sobek games, 1 Ganesha game? Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
but speaking of Smite 2, we should probably talk about
Yeah,
that a
touch
little
on
bit.
it a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like when I first heard that. Me and you both heard about it a little bit before it got announced to the public, but I couldn't believe that it was actually happening. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like just the opportunity to have the game keep going, and a chance for it to like blow up, especially like in other regions, is like very like exciting to like look at for sure for me.
Yeah. I think also for the people listening, like we'll definitely talk about Smite 2 a lot throughout the year, especially as like when they do like beta phases or alpha. I don't even know where they're gonna start, but like as they do that stuff and we can talk about it, we'll talk about it for sure. I don't know your perspective on this, but I remember hearing like rumors about it every now and then because people would joke about it, but like it's different when people are joking about it versus like people we know who work at the company like joking about it or saying like, oh, it's like talked about, it might happen, that type of stuff. Hearing that it actually was going to be happening, I can't believe. I'm sure I'm fine to say this. I don't know if I am or not. I'm going to say it anyways, but like
I think you're good.
yeah, knowing when they confirmed it, like the first time I knew it was like for sure a thing was like early spring last year. Like I knew they were like committing to it, which like I had heard about it before that, but like actually like all in it. I think people also get a good idea of it now because you see how many people like, excuse me, like I believe in the intro videos at Worlds, you'd have a lot of the designers or like, you know, people like Pon and stuff talk about it and like working on it. The amount of people that they have had on Smite 2 working on it for a really long time, I think is kind of the exciting thing to me that like they're really committed to like having everybody work on it, and they're like people don't get to see it from the outside as much, but like people are working their butt off for sure. And like even like with year 11, I think it's really impressive that they've been able to like keep it in a fun spot, because a lot of people are in Smite 2. Like for the longest time, it was like literally learn me and aggro and one coder or something that was like mainly on season 11. But yeah, I'm really excited for Smite.
And Chaos too.
Yeah. Chaos was on it. Yeah. So like, yeah, I'm really excited for Smite 2, and being able to finally talk about it and have it be confirmed a thing is really nice.
Yeah, I'm like, I think a lot of people, especially coming, like a lot of the SPL players, were not super excited about hearing about it at first, but I feel like the potential it brings to the game, or like back to like Smite, especially like in a competitive spot, is so much bigger than anything they could have done with like regular Smite.
Yeah.
And like the trajectory that regular Smite was going, it felt like it wasn't going to be around that much longer, because I know we talked about it like the last couple of years, that we'll see how this season goes, when we'll just talk to you guys again at the end of next season, and then the next season.
Eventually that's
like eventually like they're not going to be able to keep it going forever. So I think this is like the best thing to do to keep Smite in a spot that has the potential to actually come back and be back in the competitive scene. So I'm excited to see what they do, especially this year. It's gonna be fun. I feel like, even though like it definitely sucks for a lot of the SPL players, but like if you're gonna stick around and play, it's gonna kind of be reminiscent of like season 0, season 1, season 2, season 3. It's like the Wild West. It's like we're back in the Wild West. It's gonna be a very interesting year to be a part of.
There's like two sides of my brain. There's the competitive like player side of me that it does feel like a weird year in transition. Like who knows like what Smite 2, like if it even has a comp scene, like what it looks like or how far it goes. Or like,
I don't even know if I'm gonna like the game. Like that's where I'm at. Like if I don't like the game, I'm not gonna like pursue it, because the reason why I've stuck around, I played Smite 12 years. The reason why I've stuck around playing Smite and haven't fallen off and play so much still is because I like playing the game. If I didn't like Smite, I would have been gone long ago. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the part I'm excited about, is I feel like the like video game player of me, like as a hobby and stuff, I just like having something new, like the experience of problem solving a new game and doing new things, I think is a really, really fun experience. It's why like at the start of like a new season, it's really fun to play a lot, or at the start of like even in other games, like WoW has a new expansion. Like the most fun part is like right at the start, like figuring out everything new by yourself or with your friends or whatever you like to do. Like if you want to look up everything and look up a bunch of tier lists, you can do that. If you want to do it yourself, like once a week, you can do that too. And I feel like that experience is really fun. And I also think maybe I care about this more than other people, but graphics and feel, I feel like I like Smite's art style in general.
I love it.
But I also think the feeling of the new stuff, like, I don't know what they showed at Worlds, but I know we were shown a clip of, like, a Ymir would, like, raise his hand on the ground. It would, like, leave an ice trail. And then literally, like, the wall next to it having, like, ice on it. Like, he walls, and it's, like, next to a, like, existing wall, you know, on the map. And then that wall becomes, like, frosty a little bit. Even stuff like that. My brain just loves that stuff. Like it just looks really, it just makes it look really cool to me, and it feels really satisfying to play games like that where you feel like the environment change, or like they showed Chaka and just like literally having more lightning. I just like lightning effects, like literally just having more of it just makes it feel cool to me.
Yeah, they showed. I think they showed like the rain. I think at Worlds, like video, like how the like makes the ground like look really
looks
crazy.
Wet and stuff.
Yeah, wet. Yeah, it's super sick. But
immersive, that's a good word. Yeah, it's immersive.
Did we get to play it at Worlds? I didn't get a chance to play it. Did you play it?
I haven't played any version of it yet. I'm really excited to whenever I get the chance.
So I'm looking forward to it, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. That's my, like what you said, like you put it into words better than I could. Like just figuring everything out again is gonna be the best part for me. Mm-hmm. Like I love that kind of stuff. That's why I play games, is to do like to figure cool things out. But I feel like it's crazy to think now people are so much better at games now, like than they were like 10 years ago. It's insane how good people are. I'm like, I always play any game and I'm like, man, these people are just way too good, dude. Like, what is going on? Like, why is everybody so good at every game nowadays? Like, it's like it makes it not as fun.
I actually agree, especially for games like WoW. When people min-max it, I kind of like.
Yeah.
I'll do it a little bit, but like,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, this is a short tangent. I swear. I was trying to do BFD the other day, and like I'm sure you're in the same boat. Like I've cleared it every single lockout since literally the first one. I think second one technically for me, but the first week.
Yeah.
And they take 30 minutes to do. And I had so many people like I'd bring like our friends' alts or something, and people were like, "Oh yeah, their health it's not looking too high," or like, "Oh, this guy's gear score is bad" or something. I'm gonna leave the group. I'm just thinking like, dude, I was like, okay, we've like raided together a little bit on Alliance. I'm like, on my Paladin, I've queued with the worst groups imaginable. Like people are dying to like the Murloc boss, like on the March, everything like that. Like
we wiped on Lorgus Jet like one time when we played, but it was still we're chilling afterwards.
Dude. And I was thinking like, if you gave me 2 healers, I'll kill the bosses by myself eventually. Like it's not that hard. Like it's really not. I hate it when people like they do that like little min-max meta and they expect everyone else to do the same. I hate it. But anyways, another thing I really like about Smite 2 is I feel like people underestimate. I'm guilty of it too. I notice it, especially when I'm streaming, like the dopamine hit of just having like newer stuff or like better feeling like action and stuff. I feel like one of the things I'm really excited about is I hope that the pace of the game still feels really good, because as cool as I think like League is, for example, I don't like the pacing of League the same way I like Smite. I just don't like the way it feels, let alone like the third person, all that other stuff that I prefer.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a player, if you're like a kid who's like playing Xbox or something and you want to download a game for the first time, I feel like people really underestimate how big of a deal it is that the game looks like pretty or it looks cool, that the like you feel like the impact of your abilities, like you said, like the rain, for example, or even like I know there was a clip of like Bologna's bludgeon, she's like slamming the ground, it makes like a loud like heavy noise, like all of that, and then also a fast-paced game. I feel like that's the way video games have been trending in general for a while, is like you want to feel like immersed in it, you want to feel the impact of it, and then you also want to feel like it's part of the reason I think like the battle royale genre, like PUBG, Fortnite, all those games do so well, is like it's just constant action, and it's like it's so easy to like queue up and play a quick game. So and I think Smite's a really good game for that. I just think like having a newer version I think will be huge.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like with League, I feel like it's more about like pushing, like it's more about laning and like pushing your leads and stuff. But like in Smite, like supports are like roaming like really early. Yeah. Even if they're not roaming, they're playing more on the they're playing for jungle buffs. Like in League, you're like just exclusively for the most part staying to your lane, and it's just not as
you're
fun
like literally
as, like,
setting
roaming
up your wave, like where it's pushing and like what tower it's near and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like Smite's different, and like that's one thing I like about it, is that just like you said, the pacing, it just feels so much better because there's way more action than a game like League or. Well, I was gonna say even like Dota, but I have no idea with Dota, so I'm not gonna even say that.
All, yeah.
But I think the other cool thing too, is that there's no Invader's Curse. Yeah, so that's gonna be back. I want to be invading. It's gonna be fun to invade. I feel like, and try it out
for sure.
And the other thing too is crazy is like when people try stuff, I feel like now it's going to be so different than it was like back 10 years ago in like regular Smite. Like I invaded every game in closed beta, like Smite closed beta. I invaded every single game for 4 months straight in Conquest. Like, I'm not joking. That's how I played. Like, I started the game invading them every time I have videos of back then of me and my friends always invading. We would always try to, like, block. But, like, my favorite thing to do is, like, there's, like, little, like, everybody's seen the old map. They brought back a version of it. It's not, there was so many versions of it, but they brought back one of the versions. It was pretty close. But there's, like, little, like, entrances to all the buff camps. And you can, like, stand, if you put, like, 2 or 3 people in those entrances, you can block them off and you can get them trapped in there, and people wouldn't know what to do. They just run around the buff camp like, what am I supposed to do?
I love it.
And then it was so much fun. But yeah, just figuring things out like that is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
Dude, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I haven't been around as long as you, but I've been around for a really long time for the Smite players. And the one like stage of Smite that I missed out on, because I used to watch I probably watched Smite for like a year and a half before I ever got to play it, because back then I was just playing like console, like
Yeah.
before it came out on console, I was playing like Halo and COD and stuff with my friends. So I wasn't playing computer games, and I would watch. It was like Trendkill and Dry Bear back then were like the two main YouTubers I would watch like play all the time, and I never got to experience like playing in closed beta or playing or watching like launch tournament or anything like that. And I feel like it's like the one piece of Smite 1 that I missed out on. And in a way, like getting to experience that in Smite 2, I think is really exciting for me. Cause like you said, I want to experience, cause when I first came into Smite, I'm learning off of everyone else. You know, I remember like, I think like Jeff and Shadowq would stream a lot. I don't remember, like, I remember watching you when you were on Eager in season 2, but I don't remember if
I didn't stream that much because my internet was like really
I was gonna
bad.
say season 1. I don't know if you streamed or if I got to watch you, but I remember watching like Jeff and Shadowq for sure would stream a lot, and like I remember just you're like learning what they already know and like trying to like understand it and stuff. But the feeling of getting to do it myself, I'm really looking forward to, like getting to do it myself and like figure things out, figure out what I like and what's different. Even like gods, I'm sure
the game's gonna be different.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like Smite, it's still gonna be Smite at the end of the day, but it's a different game. Like it's gonna be different for sure. So it's gonna be fun to figure that out, like you said.
I feel like it'll be cool because I think a really big thing that limits people from getting into a MOBA is how much knowledge you need. Like if you try to play Smite now as a new player, like there's 120 some characters.
130.
130
with
now?
Newt, it's 129, and then when Newt comes out, it's 130.
Oh my god. Yeah, so you have to learn 129, 130 characters, and you have to learn all the items, and you have to learn the map, and then people are going to expect you to like...
And then 2 weeks after you start playing, 6 items get changed,
Exactly.
1 buff camp gets changed,
and
1 timer changes.
People expect you to know things like how to clear the buff camps too.
Yeah,
and there's like nothing that tells you, you know?
They add a piece of paper in the store you have to buy at the start of the game, and no one even buys it. Like, it's so hard to play a game with like so many things.
For sure. And I think the cool thing about Smite 2 is that like the relic system and all these things are changing, and everyone is going to be on even playing ground. But if you did play Smite 1, you're still going to know, like, even if they change Thor a little bit or something, like, you're still going to have a pretty good idea of what he does. Like, it might be different. Like, for all we know, Thor could be a support. Like, he could be a tank character that's, like, way better in that role. Like, you really never know. But, you'll...
Depends on the map, too.
Exactly. Like, you'll be able to recognize the characters, but it won't be the end-all, be-all where you know, like, here's how the start goes. Here's all the items you should buy. You need to build this. Like, if you don't do this, my teammate's trolling. Yeah.
The items, like, are so different. It's gonna be crazy. I feel like there's like similar items.
Seen them.
I haven't seen them either, but the fact that they're components alone, just knowing that, is just gonna make the game so crazy different. I feel
that's gonna be really hard for me to learn, honestly, because I didn't play League enough to really understand like that system. So I pretty much have to relearn a whole system. I think will be cool.
Yeah, I don't know any of the items either. I am so excited to just see what items they have. And like the best part about playing in a closed beta, and especially like this year, I feel like especially playing, which is gonna be fun. They're gonna change so much stuff. They're gonna like new characters are gonna be coming in like left and right. Like they're gonna be reintroducing like all these characters. There's gonna be like a million item changes, and it's gonna feel like a new game like every couple weeks. I bet, because they're gonna be like you're gonna be playing. Or say you play closed beta at the start, you come back like 6 weeks later, there's like 4 more gods in the game. They like changed like 7 items. Like there's like 2 different juggle camps. You're like, what the heck just happened? Like it's gonna be fun to play like the first like whole year of it, because there's gonna be so much. It's gonna be like rapid fire, just adding stuff like boom, 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 boom.
Dude,
it's gonna be crazy.
The god release cycle, like if they're trying to get all the existing gods into the game, like that's gonna be a lot too, like even just getting like 1 or 2 characters a month or whatever they plan on doing.
And I think they want to add more characters as well. So it's gonna be so many gods. I'm sure they won't have all the gods though. It's gonna take them at least a couple years, I feel like, to get them all into the game.
Yeah, you see Davy's question in chat.
What did Davey say?
Can you scrim at 9 or are you busy?
Tonight, can we do 10, Davey, or no?
Yeah, I think another thing about Smite 2 that I'm kind of interested in is the characters. I'm kind of curious, like, it'll be really different having just less characters. I think will make it... I know there's a lot of people who, like, have their mains and they're going to, like, miss the gods they want, and I'm sure I'll feel that way too, but I also think having less characters gives you more time to focus on the items, the map, and all those other changes
Yes,
too.
yes.
So I think that'll be a new experience for a lot of people. Like, especially if you started like
in season 6,
I was-
season 7. Like there's
Exactly.
so many people that I met at Worlds that like my favorite question to ask people when I meet them. I'm sure if you met me at Worlds, I asked you this is like, when did you start playing Smite? And so many people tell me like season 7. I started playing in season 8. I'm like, holy cow!
The amount of characters they had to learn at that time, like. I think that'll be a really new experience for a lot of people. Because even for myself, when I came into the game, I want to say there was for sure at least 40 characters. There might have been 50 already as well. But like, that's a good bit. Like, even though like maybe at the comp level it didn't feel like as much, and people were mostly playing like Athena and Geb and Sylvanas, I think were the main 3 picks that I remember a lot. Like, there's still like a lot of characters. Like, I know you would play like Fenrir back then, and like I know a lot of the EU players.
I played Thor as well. Like I have Thor SPL game, like the game where like the famous Boosh beads or the Boosh beads, not Boosh beads, Boosh Raw game. I was
really that clip at the back heartbeats or whatever.
Yeah, I was Thor that game. I was playing Thor support that game. Like I played awesome. Thor. Like there's like a lot of gods I played. Like I played Thanatos as well. Like when he first came, like I played so many crazy gods like that.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. It was fun. Like I don't think I ever played Thanatos in like an SPL game, but I played Thor in SPL. I played a lot of weird picks like in SPL.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. This maybe would be too long because neither of us have really thought about it, but someone asked in chat if there were like 3 gods that you wanted to like see a change to, or like maybe both ways. Like, are there 3 gods where you're like they're perfect, don't change them, or like 3 gods that you're like think there's a different idea? I have one in mind. I don't know if you have any.
Okay. Part of me, I want them to do something to Afro where they commit her more to one side or the other, I feel like. Because both versions of Afro is so much fun, but I feel like she's like in the weirdest spot.
In between being like a mid laner support sort of thing.
Yeah, like if like let her heal scale, or like make her more of like a tank, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how, like I don't know what they do to her. I have like
I feel that way about Hell too.
Yeah, actually. Hell as well. Yeah, both of them. Like those characters are so cool. Like I just wish they committed like to one way more than the other. Like I feel like they're both like 50-50 in the middle.
For sure. As much as I do love characters like Atlas or Serb or whoever, like the more like people say like aggressive sports, you can be aggressive as Afro too if you want. But
yes,
like,
you can.
As much as I love those style of characters, I also really like the like archetype of like healer supports.
They're so cool.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. Like to me, it just makes sense that like healing would be a support mechanic, if that makes sense. Like I really like characters like that. So that makes sense to me. You know, another character I'd throw in there that people probably don't like is actually Eset. Like
I think Ishel too.
Yeah, Ishel's a good one. Yeah, I think those would both be really cool, like tank or guardians, and I think the direction on that. There's one character that I think would be cool to change as well. Like there's some abilities I just don't personally care for that much. Like they don't feel good to play with to me. I know other people might like them. Is like Zeus 2, for example. I'm not a huge fan of that ability. Like I'd be interested to see if they change stuff like that.
It's crazy. Zeus was in the game for so long. He didn't have his shield. Like he had like a different ability. So yeah. Actually,
I wonder how many people even played with that version of Zeus, the shield Zeus.
Yeah, like where he just gave himself movement speed. And,
that's what I meant. Like,
he had reflect.
Yeah, it's
so troll.
Yeah, so there's things like that I'd be interested in. Honestly, a lot of I wonder what they'll do with a lot of the hybrid characters in general. Like, I'd say a lot of assassins fit that too. Like, Set, Suki, Cleo, like those gods are all like kind of laners in a little like sense. I wonder how that will look. And just because I think they mentioned this on the item things. If I'm not, then I'm breaking NDA. Sorry guys, but being able to build like Ymir, being able to like he used to be able to build crit, right? Like way at the start.
I think people got to try the game, so people so there's you're not breaking NDA. Cool. Yeah,
I wasn't sure, but like you're able to build physical and magical power. So like being able to build characters different ways, I think is really really cool. Like I don't know how many guardians it would apply to or how it'll scale exactly, but I wonder if you can build like, I don't know, building physical power on like Atlas or Cabrakan or something. Like I don't know if they'll be slamming or how it would look, or like even Sylve, for example. Like you could do a lot of auto attack damage with Sylve. Like if you go like Diamond Arrow Sylve right now, you slam with that character. And I wonder how that'll feel like if you build like Exion Sylve. Do you go nuts? Like,
dude, yeah, you
that'd be
literally
so
go
funny.
Exion Sylve,
Or, like,
they're all
Kanzo on
stacked
Sylve or
up, and you're going,
something.
boop,
Yeah,
boop,
exactly.
You're
Like,
crotch shedding all of them. That'd be sick.
some stuff like that I think would
Yeah.
be really cool. I'd also be really excited. Like, there's some of the like god reworks they did a little bit. Like, for example, Anubis being able to move in his one. Like,
Yeah.
what if they? I wonder if they do stuff like that, or like, what if they make Anubis be able to move in his alt or something? Like, stuff like that could be really cool. I feel the same thing. Like, because I'm assuming they're gonna change stuff, even off what they showed about Ymir. Like, Ymir literally being able to like rocket jump forward is a huge deal.
Yeah, in the Dev Insight video they released, like, I think a couple days ago, the funniest thing about that video, I watched it, I love the top comment. They're like, I just feel so weird of Pawn introducing himself as his government name.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, so that was like the
so
top
odd to
comment.
me.
But I love that comment. It made me laugh so hard. But
I don't think I've ever read his real name. I'm not gonna lie before that.
yeah, but anyways, they showed in that video is like they took, when they were testing Anubis, they originally took the wrap or the mummify off his kit, and they didn't say what ability they gave him, but they tried to give him something else, and he just didn't feel like Anubis.
Oh, wow.
So they didn't go with it, and they just gave him back his wrap. But who knows what they'll do with like certain picks? Like, as long as the god or picks, I'm talking like it's pick and ban.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, who knows what they'll do with those gods? But like for instance, like Zeus, there's been 2 versions of Zeus that have felt like Zeus. Like, even without his shield, he still felt Zeus like.
Yeah.
So they can make changes and still have the gods still feel the same.
Is there a character that, like, let's assume every character gets changed a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
What character do you think you would miss the most? Whereas, like maybe like right now you're like, oh, they're perfect. I love the way this character feels.
I mean, most like some of my favorite gods probably that I like playing, like Ares and Ardeo for sure. Like, if they get changed, like, I'm sure Ares is gonna get changed, like with how beads is in the game.
For sure.
It's like, dude, imagine like having to buy beads for a certain god. I'm sure a lot of the gods with CC are gonna get looked at because they're so gonna be so broken. Like, imagine loading in to a game. You have to buy beads. You're a new player and you play against this god. If you don't have this,
active relic, like active item.
Yeah, you don't have this, you just lose. Like, there's nothing you can do to play around it.
Ares alted or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I think I have 2 characters. I think mine would be, they're just also kind of similar to you. Like, maybe I would say they are like my favorite gods. They're definitely up there, but like Baron and Atlas to me just feel really good to play. I just like
Atlas as well. Yeah, I love Atlas. I love the feeling of Atlas.
I just like the way they feel, like even
Yeah.
like their auto attack cancels, like just their animations and stuff. I really hope they feel like they don't have to feel the same, but I hope they feel like
close enough.
like smooth, or like just the way they play. I hope it feels good.
Like Ares is so satisfying to like chain and basic attack cancel, like with same thing with this too. So and then same thing with Ardeo. Ardeo just flows really well. Like any of the stance changers as well. Like Uller is another one that I hope they keep like pretty similar. Like I love the stance changing gods, like Tyr as well, Hell as well. Like I like you said, like I hope they keep Hell's feeling the same, but if they commit her more to like more of like a tank or more of like a damage roll, like it'd be better. But yeah,
There's, you know what, one god and one thing I want them to change more than anything else, you would never guess in a million years. Fafnir's dwarf auto attacks, I hate them so much.
yeah,
They feel so bad and so slow to me because you're just like,
you're working on the railroad.
yeah, dude, he's so short and it takes so long to hit someone. And like, I hate the feeling of like, I'm trying, like somebody could be literally 1 HP and I'm running behind them. Like the feeling of trying to like wind up and hit them, I hate it.
Oh my god,
I hate it so much. That if they changed just that, I'd be so happy. Like,
Yeah.
something small like that.
the best thing about Fafnir, like one of my favorite quotes I guess I've had is like that spawned was, oh yeah, I'm just working on the railroad right now. Like if it's taking forever to do something, that's what I say all the time.
Camp, like
Yeah, I'm like, I'm working on a railroad. Like I'm never killing this, dude.
I love it.
Oh man.
Yeah, it'll be really cool though, because there's some characters like even the older gods, like Agni, for example. Like his bomb mechanic is really cool, and I feel like you could do so many cool things with that character. And like,
Yeah.
visually, I bet you he looks so cool too. Just like up like Unreal 5 engine, like or Unreal Engine 5, like just like the fire effects and stuff. I actually love any game I play, like single player games, especially like the one I played the most by far is like Skyrim. Like,
Yeah.
I love like magic effects in any game. Like, it literally just if like fire or lightning look cool, I'm like, I love this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so fun to me.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What's it called? Bands in chat. Mulan feeling good would be so
that'd
sick.
be so cool.
Yeah, that character is so much fun to play. It's crazy. Like all my friends that I grew up with, they're not like into comp smite. They just play for fun. For some reason, like the one god they all have like mastery level 10 is Mulan. They like all love playing Mulan.
That's awesome.
And Mulan, I love playing Mulan too. Like I have like 2 stars on Mulan. Like I'm like I don't even know when I got these stars.
When she first came out, I played her. Like, I normally don't play characters a ton until like they're close to being comp ready, like maybe a week or two before.
Yeah.
The second she came out, I got her diamond playing her jungle only. I loved it so much. The feeling of like I actually love like the feeling of Blink Mulan ulting through like a bunch of people and then turning your camera and knocking them all up. It's so satisfying to me.
If they can make her like, I know what you're saying. Like if they made her feel like a little bit more like fluent when you played her, she'd be one of the most fun characters of all time. Like she feels like too like robotic. I don't know how to explain it. Like with your abilities.
You know, the biggest thing for me is her 3. Like when you hit it, it feels really good. But when you don't hit Mulan 3, it's one of the worst feelings ever because you like watch it miss. It takes forever for you to be able to like walk or do something else. Like, yeah, even small stuff like that would be so cool.
Yeah, I wonder what they can do to her to change her, but hopefully they make like small changes because that guy has potential to be like one of the most fun characters in the game. I feel like.
I also think it's really cool. Like, I don't know how much this means to other people, but like to me, I remember Mulan being a movie that I remember a lot when I was a kid, and I feel like having like kind of like namesake characters like that is pretty cool. Or even like another movie I remember is like the Hercules movie with like Hercules and Hades and stuff, and like seeing those characters in the game. I remember that was actually one of the first like YouTube videos I watched. It was literally like they were playing against Hades, and I was like, oh, like I know who Hades is. Like that's cool. And it's like cool if those characters are like good or feel good to play, in my opinion.
Yeah, Thor's like another one. Everybody knows who Thor is.
For sure. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like what are the gods that everybody knows? I feel like everybody knows Zeus. Everybody
Thor
knows
and Hercules for sure.
Mulan, Hades. Is there any other ones that really just stick out?
Medusa, probably.
Medusa for sure.
There's got to be more.
Do you guys have any chat? Loki? Yeah, Loki.
Loki's a good one. Yeah. Isn't
Odin?
Yeah. Isn't Jormungandr like? I don't know if everyone knows him by that, but like the idea of like a world serpent, I think is in a lot of like mythology, like different. I don't know what they're called, mythos. I don't know.
Merlin and King Arthur. Achilles is another
King
one.
Arthur, I know. I actually didn't know Merlin before.
Yeah, Merlin's like more
Achilles
of like
is
I feel like Merlin is like this, like you're saying with like Jormungandr, he's like the stereotypical like mage type of person, like in a lot of like fantasy.
Cthulhu is a known one for sure.
Yeah.
Poseidon's a good one. Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah.
You know what else? I actually I think I read it in like middle school. It was in our like state or whatever, but like the Odyssey, so like Scylla and Charybdis I knew of. I think I just know a lot more. Like I think that's all Greek mythology. Like I know not a lot more about like Greek and Norse I know the most for sure.
Yeah. What is something that you want to see in Smite 2? Like if
anything?
Yeah, if it's anything, it doesn't even have to do with like gameplay. It could have to do with like random like UI or like anything like revolving around the game. Like
okay, gameplay wise, the first thing that comes to my mind, and this is like probably too long to explain fully, so I'll try to do my best, but the actual jungle and how it feels, something I really like. I'm not a huge fan of it right now. I think it's fine because they've like made it work. Is pulling all the camps together. I hate that every single camp is cleared at the start of the game. Ever since I can remember, it's always been that way. Like every start people have ever figured out is every single jungle camp is done as quick as you possibly can. And I think it'd be really cool if I think it snowballs into so many other problems because now like junglers have nowhere to go, so they have 2 options. They either have to become a laner, and they split in mid is the most common one. I know a lot of junglers don't like that. Or the second one that everyone else doesn't like is they go somewhere to gank, and you don't know where they are. And I think it'd be really cool if junglers didn't have as many buff camps or something they have to worry about. Like, because the problem is, like, soul laners need their blue buff. Like, they have to have their blue buff, so it makes the jungler, like, even if the soul laner can't do it, the jungler has to make sure they get it. I think it'd be really cool if that wasn't as much as a thing and it was just the jungle is actually like farm for the jungler. And it'd be cool if they can still like gank if they want to, and you still have to like, because you should have to play around ganks in a MOBA. Like,
Yeah.
otherwise jungle, like, what's the point of even having them? Like, I think it'd be cool if you still had to respect that, but they felt like they were losing something. Because right now, I feel like it's a little dumb that, like, when I'm playing jungle and ranked, for example, I think it's a little dumb that, like, I can walk to duo lane and make you lose your lane because you have to play back, and I lose nothing for it. Like, realistically, like, maybe I lose out splitting a wave, but, like, in the grand scheme of the game, it doesn't actually change that much. So gameplay-wise, that'd be mine for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Invader's Curse would be second for the record, but
It's gone though. So,
I know exactly.
Yeah.
But exactly. They did it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, for me, like, gameplay wise, what do I want? I think having like options like in the game is always fun. Like you said, like just making like if you do one thing. I don't. It could be with like anything, like in terms of like the mid game with like objectives,
Like trading the map sort of
yeah,
stuff.
trading the map sort of stuff, or like not or just like there's like multiple ways to like get good stuff like on the map. You just like EFG is just not like the end all be all. Like
okay,
like,
yeah.
just doing like the double camp start at the beginning of the game is like not the best. Like there's options to do. Like it's hard because people always find like the cookie cutter stuff, but I think it's a lot easier to have options with Invader's Curse gone as well because you'll be able to walk around the map more. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping there's a lot of options, and I'm hoping that yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another good one, but just options mainly.
I don't know what it will look like, but if I had to pick one outside of the game, well, I guess it's kind of outside. Kind of like there's two things. One, I actually like jungle practice a lot, and I hope like they can do. I assume they'll be able to do more. Like I don't know. I don't know if it'll be in the base game, but I think being able to like, I was playing like Fortnite with a couple people last night, and I don't really play it a lot, but like, I think it's cool that like at the start of the game you can like mess around with stuff and like certain guns or whatever, and I think it'd be cool if like. If you can go into jungle practice like while you're in queue, that'd be awesome to me. Like I would mess with stuff all the time. Like I'm in queue, I'll just like try builds or I'll try.
That'd be so sick, actually. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
I don't know if that's realistic, but that'd be really, really cool if you could do it. And then the other thing I assume they'll do, but I don't actually know. They actually helped it a lot this year. I think they fixed a lot of this stuff, but I think leaderboards and like God leaderboards are such a cool thing, and I really hope they expand on that.
Okay, you reminded me the mastery thing. I hope they do really cool stuff with like God mastery.
That'd be cool too.
Like I love worshippers. I love farming. Like I was thinking about today. Like I want to farm. I want to try to get all 130 Gods Diamond before SMITE 2 comes out. That's like one of my goals.
You have right now?
I have 110.
I know. I have like 82. I cannot do that.
You have a lot though. That's a lot.
I do have a lot, but yeah, it's hard.
Yark has them all. I think he's like the only SPL player.
Oh really? That's cool.
That's why it's funny. XShell came out and Yark was spamming her every game, and everybody's like, "Why you think XShell's good?" And he's like, "No, I just want to rank 10."
Dude, people reported me for playing XShell support when she first came out. I did lose like 5 games in a row. I swear it wasn't my fault. Like, yeah. It is fun to play different characters. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's like one thing I want is like one of my goals of SMITE ever since the worshipper system came out was to get everybody to 10, like all the way back. Because I played before there was worshippers. Like my Smurf account that I have, like Arachne, I have like 200 plus wins on it. I'm only like rank 5 Arachne on that.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And like Guan Yu, like on my main account, like I have so many Guan Yu and Odin games on my main account, but like I'm only like 1 star. Like if I had all my original games for like some of these gods like Guan Yu, Vamana.
Wait, so it keeps your stats, but they didn't have worshipper system.
It kept my stats, but like Kali as well. Like I have so many Kali games, like crazy amount of Kali games. I'm like I only have like 1,000 worshippers. Like if I had like all my Kali worshippers, I probably have over 6K.
Do you know what level your SMITE account is off the top of your head?
I'm 256.
Okay.
I think Nika's higher than me.
Sot's way up there.
Sot's higher than me. There isn't that many other people I think higher than me out of the SPL players.
I might be 290 now, but yeah,
nice.
I'm somewhat up there.
My Smurf account's 117 as well, so I have a lot of games on that too.
Oh, okay, I think my Smurf is around 80 or 90 or something.
Nice.
That makes sense. Yeah, I use the Smurf way too much.
Yeah,
not good.
But dude, just having cool stuff for worshippers, having like a website you can go to, like I don't know how they can do it, but like you can go in, you could see like the top RDO warship player, and you could see like what they're building and like what like how many games they play, like what game modes, if there is game modes in Smite. Like that's another thing too. What do you want all the game modes back? I personally would want less game modes because I'm not a fan.
I want less, yeah.
I know people are gonna hate me for saying this. I think all the other game modes other than Conquest are just like not as fun as Conquest.
Yeah, I do think that too. I understand the argument for all of them. Like I feel like, okay, I've always been on this train. People are gonna hate me for saying it. I think Assault sucks. I think it's like. I think it doesn't help you learn the game. I think it's a really like
they'll bring it in though. That game mode's fun though. Like I feel like
it can be fun. Yeah. Like, I feel the same about Arena. I think it can be fun, but like
I mean,
I don't know. Arena at least to me is like you might be able to simulate like team fights a little bit, but I just think like but okay, Duel for example, a lot of people hate Duel. It is not a well-balanced game mode compared to Conquest even close, but like people always like the idea of being able to 1v1.
Yeah.
So I think it should be in there. Joust 3v3, I never really was into personally, so like I wouldn't care if that was gone.
There's such a big Joust scene in Smite. I'm sure they'll keep Joust. It's so funny. Paul's just a Joust player right now. He's like I'm Joust until Smite 2 comes out, unless some tournament pops
plays
up.
3v3.
Yeah, that's all he plays. He doesn't play anything else.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's just a Joust man.
I always wanted to get in. Like I think I said it last year. I like wanted to get into it a little bit, but Conquest I just have way more fun with.
Yeah, I think. I'm curious. Like Assault, I played Assault. It's funny, like in closed beta, I played Assault. Like we made custom games. There's clips. Like I have a quadra kill as Hades. Like I can find it on like one of my old YouTube channels. I have a quadra kill as Hades and a custom Assault with our own custom rules that we played. It was so funny.
That is cool, actually.
Yeah. But
see, that's the thing. Like Assault, if Assault was like a match of the day sort of thing, I think that'd be fine to me. I just don't know if like, yeah, what's up?
I just thought of something. I've told them this. They just didn't have the tech for like UE3. Hopefully with UE5 and like all the stuff they have. Imagine if we can make our own custom games.
Yeah.
Dude, that is my number one thing that I want.
I bet you they can because you can do like you can do cooldown stuff right now.
Oh my god.
I bet you they can expand on it.
That is gonna be so much fun. Imagine like because people can make like you know how people were making like those jousts like or they were playing on the Joust map. They made, I forget what it was called. They were like making a game mode and they played it all the time. Like you could actually make a game mode for that.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine
making
the
challenge where people did like 5 bots and you're level 1, like that thing.
No, there's a different one. That is well though. Like that'd be fun too. There's like so many different things. Like I don't know if you have raid boss. Yeah, Arma said raid boss. Yeah, people were playing raid boss all the time. It's
what
like
was the raid boss
one person could buy full build, they're level 20, and then everybody else like had like starter, and I think that's all they had or something. But like having game modes like that and like actually being able to make it like a custom game and like you can join that'd be so sick.
Awesome. Dude, it would remind me of like, I'm sure other people feel this way too. It would remind me of like Halo 3 and stuff. Like people used to love that, like the part of that. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like I hate when everyone is so like negative all the time because I feel like there's a lot of really cool things that Smite does that don't get a lot of credit. Like I think that's one of them. Also, like I was thinking of like UI things or skins. Like I also think it's really cool that you can customize stuff a little bit, like the Color Forge thing or the RuneScape clothes.
The RuneScape thing was really cool.
Yeah, I really like that there's small things like that. It just makes you feel good for like grinding the game.
I want to know. I gotta look when I get back on. Someone remind me in my chat when next time I'm streaming. I want to look at what RuneScape cloaks I still need because I'm curious of like which ones I have and which ones I don't. Because I think I have a lot of them. I know I don't have them all yet. I'm curious to see which ones I have.
I think a lot of them is like play. Like for example, you have to play an assassin like 200 times. I don't have that one yet. Yeah.
Is the previous show gonna be up?
Should be soon.
It should be soon. We'll figure that out. Hopefully soon.
I'll always tweet and let you guys know. We'll both try our best for sure. I think that I haven't checked Spotify. I don't know if it's up on Spotify yet.
I don't know either actually. Is it up, Billy, in chat or no? I actually don't know. I haven't checked yet. Billy might not know either, to be fair. But yeah, that dude, the custom games. Oh my god, that's the one thing that is really gonna cool. Be, dude. Making like if they gave us like the assets to like make your own map as well, and people like make their own maps and like have like dude, that would be so much fun. Like that, I feel like that's like the potential like that this game has that
Yeah.
like it was just never possible in like regular Smite.
Okay. I don't know. We're a long way from this. Okay. And I don't know how possible it would be, but I've always thought it'd be so cool if you could go into custom games. Like, let's say right now we're in season 11. I think it'd be so cool if you could literally go back to like season 7 and you're on the same map and all the items are the same and stuff like that. Like, it'd be really cool to me if like down the line we're in like season 3 of Smite 2 and you could play like, oh, what was like the beta phase like or something like that. Like, I don't know if that's possible at all, but I do think stuff like that would be really cool.
That'd be so
Because they did it with like the match of the day with like you were saying like or like I don't know if it was the original, but like the classic conquest map. Like I never got to play that, so like going back and experiencing that was really cool to me. I know the items and stuff were different, but it was so cool.
It was like that was fun to play on that map. It's just different though, because like you didn't have the same items and like there was way more gods.
Everybody,
yeah. Like Kepri couldn't even make it through some parts of the map.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Yorm and Cthulhu. Like they would just get stuck and you'd have to walk around the other way. So funny.
Yeah, I'm really excited for just all of the just the potential in general. Honestly, and even like you kind of said the same thing. Like I don't know what my future will be with it. Like I'm not assuming that I'm gonna be like. We could play the game and we could suck at it. Like, you know, there could just be like 15-year-old kids who are cracked who are just better than us. Like, you really never know in terms of a comp player, but I just hope, like, at the end of the day, I do just love the game. It's why I've played it for so long. So I hope it's like, I'm looking forward to being able to just like enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be fun. And like the custom game thing, I'm just not gonna stop thinking about that now. That would be so sick. Hopefully they do something with it. Like even if they don't go all in and like give like map assets and like make your own maps, like just having to make more like
I'm sure they'll allow you to do stuff like the match of the day settings and stuff like that for sure.
People are gonna love that, I feel like, and it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that. Like playing Conquest with like crazy things. Oh man, be cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, we could go on with Smite 2 forever, right? We should probably save some of it. I think it'd be really cool, by the way, for anyone, whether you're listening in chat now or you're listening later, definitely like tweet at us, or if you see us streaming, like let us know if you have things you want to hear us talk about with Smite 2. Like it could be God-specific things, it could be things like the custom game, like anything you guys want to talk about would be really cool because I'm sure many of you are excited like we are as well. And I think as time goes on and we get more like, you know, beta phases or whatever they show us as they're working on it, I'm really excited to see what's going on with it.
Yeah, me too. I think for our upcoming episodes, like I said, I think at the beginning of the podcast, if I'm still here in Georgia next week and I'm in this spot's available, we'll probably do it in person again. If not, we'll do it online, but we'll probably have some guests on. I know we were talking about having like my brother on for the League episode. Awesome. I still want to do that. That's going to be so much fun. And there's a lot of other guests I want to have on too that I had like, for instance, I would love to have Clumsy come on as well as like another person I could think of, but
I'm sure I'm sure a lot of the people working on Smite 2 are pretty busy, but that would be great. Yeah. I think guests would be good. And then, yeah, like Max said, anytime we can be in the studio, we probably will be. You'll probably head home soon, and then we'll see what's up. But ideally, we'll try to get an episode out as often as we can every week, and see what's going on with that. But yeah, I think you've been streaming a lot more. We both have been streaming a good bit. So
check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. If you guys have anything you want to see, you want to hear us talk about, let it rip. Whenever, we're always pretty open to ideas.
Yeah, and then. If anything changes too with the show, we'll keep you guys updated, like wherever we're at, like on our social medias and stuff.
I do want to say pretty soon we probably will put it on a separate YouTube channel, I think, and we'll both let you guys know whenever we do that. Honestly, it might be a good time to do it now if this is the first like season 2 episode. So if you're listening now live, then you'll probably see me tweet it out where you can find it and stuff if you only got to listen to part of it. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to figure that out like as soon as possible and let everybody know. So,
but yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll talk more Smite 2 later. Definitely check out, by the way, if we don't do an episode next week, Bobby's tournament, the inbound tournament, is It's Saturday the 10th, I think, starting I want to say, is it 11 or 12 we're starting? It's something like that, Eastern.
I think it's 12 because Bobby's laughing. He's like, I'm scared people aren't going to wake up in time. So I think that's why he's starting at a little later. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think noon Eastern on February 10th. I don't know how to say dates. You get it. But yeah, this upcoming week, we'll be doing that.
And go keep going. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, check it out and definitely watch Bobby's stream. He's been doing a lot of work on this. Twitch.tv/inbound is his thing.
And then the other tournament that's coming up that I want to mention, I might play in it. I haven't thought about it yet. I think Blondie's doing a Joust tournament. Paul's playing in that.
Oh,
it has a pretty big prize pool as well, I think. Like,
I actually didn't know about that. That's cool.
So I think I don't know the exact date. Does anyone know in chat really quick so I could give it the exact date? But definitely check out that tournament too. I think it's this week. If it's not this week, it's next week, and it has a pretty big prize pool attached to it too. So the Joust scene is running in full force.
I think it's so cool that people are doing a lot of the community tournaments and stuff. I love it so much. But yeah, definitely check out both of those, and then you guys can find us as always. We'll let you know if the YouTube changes, but if not, it's still on mine at PBM SMITE. Blondie's is the 17th. Someone said in chat.
Thank you, Blast.
Yep. Thank you for that. And then it'll still be on Spotify at Inside the SPL. If you're listening to this one, you should be able to find this and the previous one pretty soon there. And then, yeah, watch both of us on Twitch. Or has been streaming here on twitch.tv/AuroraTheChunk. And then I'm PBM Smite. I've been streaming as well a good bit. And yeah, we're just having fun with Smite. Hope you guys are too. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
One if I'm trolling from Professor